that. And okay, we're all good? Should be all good. More corpse party. How you doing, Tony? I have this like way in the way. We got our LED lights up. We can request color changes at any point. I have it on like a blue and purple kind of setting. Oh wait. Wait. We finished that chapter. Right? Okay. Load game put me in a black screen and kicked me out. We're on chapter 3. Let's see. Tenjin 5? Is that a 23 or is it 33? Mr. Yamazaki's handwriting is atrocious. This really wasn't my day. I knocked over my alarm clock this morning, and of course it stopped working. I feel like my settings are messed up. Okay. You should make that channel change. I know, I was actually thinking about that, Tony. I feel like my mic is still fucked up. Is it just too close? I'm not used to this new setup. We changed a lot of things. Does my mic sound okay now? I'm sorry if it sounded weird. I knocked over my alarm clock this morning, and of course it stopped working. The very last pork sandwich sold out right before my eyes during lunch. And I was roped into a favor when I happened upon my homeroom teacher, Mr. Yamazaki, long after my school day had ended. I need to move my footstool. Max always puts it too far away from me. I'm short. I'm shrinking. Ooh. Sounded fine even before. Okay, on my thing it was like showing up that it was like incredibly loud. Like it showed that it was just constantly peaking. I feel like the game's a little loud. We're gonna put... All I'm looking at is my audio levels, and I'm like, I know that I just moved a whole bunch of stuff around. So I probably moved things. So now, like it or not, I was on my way to deliver some notes to Miss Yui, our homeroom TA, who was out sick with a cold. I'll have to make sure I apologize to Yuka later. I know how disappointed she'll be that I'm missing our shopping date. Why you gotta call it a date when it's your sister? You guys got a weird enough relationship. Come on. Tension 523, number 11. Found it. As long as this doesn't actually read 633, number 77 anyway. I stopped and compared the memo in my hand with the apartment building in front of me. It was 2 stories tall and looked a little on the shabby side. Ooh. Probably about 20 years old. You could do without the music. Here, I'll turn it down a little bit more. Don't worry, it'll get to spooky music once we get past this flashback. It didn't seem very solid, nor was it particularly stylish or chic. It was a completely unremarkable structure in every way. Why you gotta call her poor? Apartment 207, or is that 201? I was really getting fed up with this handwriting, and from a teacher no less. In any case, it seemed certain the apartment was on the 2nd floor, so I trudged up the startlingly narrow, steep stairs. The metal staircase was thoroughly blotched with patches of rust. Why would somebody live in such a rundown apartment building? Our teacher's salary is really that low? She's a TA, she's not even a teacher. I felt a little sorry for her, but in a way, this place kind of fit her personality. Just with that thought in mind, I turned my attention toward apartment 201. Here we are, 201. Yeah, this doesn't look like Miss Yui's place. The door plate for the room nearest to the stairs had a name I didn't recognize scribbled on it. Guess that means we try door number 2. Passing room 201, I continued down the narrow walkway toward the end. Wandering alone around the apartment building I'd never been to before made me feel kind of nervous. It wasn't like I was doing anything wrong, but my back still tensed up as I maneuvered around piled up strollers, plastic toys, and bundles of newspapers. And then finally I arrived at the last door. Bingo! This was it. I breathed a sigh of relief. The door plate for apartment 207 read, Shishido. For an adult's handwriting especially, the letters were rounded and overly cutesy. This was Miss Yui's place, all right. What's this? I lean in to read something written on a small script on the corner of the door plate. Beware of cat? Shouldn't that be beware of dog? Ha! That's Miss Yui for you. So how exactly does one beware a house cat believe? Is it even possible for a house cat to be threatening? At any rate, I'd confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was Miss Yui's place, so my errand was nearing its end. What was Mr. Yamazaki thinking anyways? I understand taking handouts to sick classmates, but delivering class notes to the home of an absent teacher? That just seems weird. This isn't something a student should be doing. He said he was busy with meetings though, and he really needed one of his students to help him out. But was it really okay to entrust a school student with confidential class notes? Wouldn't it be kind of a problem if I were to read these? My mind kept drifting from one question to another, and I'd become acutely aware that the inherent value in these notes I held in my bag. But tempting as it was, I just couldn't bring myself to look at them. Mr. Yamazaki put his faith in me, after all. And I was stronger than that. I couldn't let this get the best of me. At any rate, I was here. I should have just been able to drop off the notes and be on my way. Putting all my doubts and misgivings aside, I rang the doorbell. And then I waited, and waited, and waited some more. But there was no answer. Huh? It did ring, didn't it? Yui-sensei! Miss Yui! I rang the bell again, and also tried calling out. But there was still no response. What should I do? Maybe she's sleeping. I don't want to wake her, but I am a little concerned. When we'd heard that Miss Yui was staying home sick today, we were all pretty disappointed. That's why part of me was actually a little happy that I was asked to run these over to her. I figured I'd be able to check in, see how she was doing, and let everyone in school know that she was feeling better. Never occurred to me that I might not even be able to see her, though. Yui-sensei! Miss Yui! Nothing, huh? Miss Yui, hello? Yui-sensei. She was probably sleeping, or out at the doctor's or something, but what if she were hurt? I tried opening the mail slot and peeking in. I thought maybe I could get a glimpse of the room inside. Miss Yui. It felt kind of wrong peeking into somebody's house without their permission. But I was legitimately worried about Miss Yui's health, so my conscience was clear on this one. Oh, the cat! That's how you beware the cat! A well-groomed cat was facing the door and staring back at me. With its head tilted slightly to the side, it let out an adorable meow. This must be the cat I was instructed to beware. And since Miss Yui was always going on and on about her little buddy, I'm pretty sure I remembered his name. You're Morit, right? No, it's Monet, I think. Yeah, Monet. What a pretty kitty you are, Monet. Miss Yui talked about her cat a lot in class, so pretty much the whole school had heard of him. She even had some tins of cat food hidden on the shelf in the classroom, probably because she'd bought too much and had no room for them in her apartment. Here, kitty kitty. Monet, is Miss Yui still home? If she's home, would you mind waking her up for me? That's a good kitty. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. My shoulders sank. I felt defeated. What the hell was I doing? I closed the mail slot and stood back up. Yeah. Tony's like, I got just the emote for this. Damn, I sure hope Miss Yui's alright. She's probably just out right now or something, which would mean the door's locked, I'm sure. Lost in this speculation, I placed my hand on the doorknob, and with a quick twist, I turned it in and pushed on the door, opening it easily. It opens inwards? Wait, I guess that makes sense. That's how doors normally open. What am I asking? It wasn't locked? Crap, that's not good. I can't let Monet get out. Monet. Ha! Your master is pretty careless, huh? Leaving the door unlocked like that. Monet's whiskers twitched as I called out to him from the entranceway. What's that, you say? She purrs. Hey, you and I are on the same page, Monet. Here I was talking to a cat. Here I was talking to a cat. Was this what I'd become? What should I do? I was feeling pretty uneasy. Not only had I peeped into somebody's home, I'd walked in without a second thought. Moreover, this was where Miss Yui lived, alone. In other words, a woman's apartment. Scandalous. No matter how many times I reminded myself that I was here on an errand, I couldn't help feeling that I'd not only crossed a line, but leaped over it. Yui-sensei. Miss Yui? I tried calling her name one last time. But as expected, there was no answer. So what now? I was trying hard to avoid being too nosy, but my eyes inevitably began surveying the room. My dog wants to chime in. Luna. The apartment entrance led out immediately into the kitchen, and beyond that there was a sliding door to some other room. I could see light through the gaps. I strained my ears, but there was nothing to hear. No signs of life or whatsoever. Miss Yui must really have been out. One more time. I tried calling out for her one more time, just to put my concerns at ease. I felt like I'd seen even more suspicious if I stayed silent. Miss Yui, it's Mochida. Still nothing. Maybe she was asleep on the other side of that door. Let's just have a little look-see then. Oh, wait. Shaking my head furiously, I cast out that sudden impulse. That was a terrible idea, pure and simple. Entering the apartment unannounced was bad enough, but walking all the way in, opening that sliding door and peeking inside? That's just too much. Man, if Miss Yui happened to come home and find me standing here, I'd be in pretty hot water, huh? No, scratch that. I'd be in plentiful, dense, scalding water. But I mewed, as if in agreement. Panicking, I once again surveyed my surroundings. I almost felt like there were eyes on me, staring with disdain. But of course, nobody was there. Oh, right. I can just leave a note. Wondering why I didn't think of this sooner, I dug into my bag for some paper and a pen. Mr. Yamazaki asked me to come by. That should be enough, right? I'll just use some notebook paper. Let's see. Miss Yui. Crouching in the doorway, I ran my pen across the page. I brought class notes at Mr. Yamazaki's behest. Everyone has been worried about you. Sorry about barging into your apartment. Please don't forget to lock your door from now on. As I was writing the note, I sensed a presence in front of me. Until just a moment ago, this house had had no signs of human life in it, but now I could feel someone standing directly ahead. Standing and looking down at me. Huh? Fidgeting nervously, I put down my pen, raised my head slowly, and saw a white, slender ankle. Oh, she got them ankles showing. Shocked, I shot my head up, and there, standing before me, was Miss Yui. Miss Yui? She was looking right at me, but she seemed decidedly out of sorts. Her hair looked disheveled, and her gaze was unsteady, and her pajamas were in complete disarray. She was like a completely different person from the usual kempt educator we'd come to know and love. Miss Yui, I'm so sorry to have entered your apartment without permission here. I stood up frantically and held out the note I'd been writing, but... Huh? Miss Yui was just standing there, stupefied, with a completely vacant expression on her face. Miss Yui? I called out to her as gently as I could, but she was really dazed. She seemed almost like a ghost. Miss Yui, what happened to you? I had a sudden uneasy feeling. Worried, I walked up to Miss Yui, grabbed her shoulders, and tried to snap her out of it by shaking her. But instead... Infection! This just seemed to make her cough. Hey, Miss Yui! These were wet, productive coughs, and spit was shooting out of Miss Yui's mouth with each one. I frantically tried to shield my face from the spray, but my reaction time just wasn't quick enough. Ugh. I put a hand out to her cheek and found it thick with a slimy film of saliva. Are you okay, Miss Yui? Miss Yui hobbled back a little, then fell to her knees with a thud. She had completely sprawled out in the hallway, moaning and groaning the whole time. Miss Yui. Wiping the spatterings from my own face, I leaned over and took a better look at hers. It was bright red. Strained breathing, a stuffy nose, and a visibly high fever on top of it all. She was sick as could be. I'm cold. Cold? But you're dripping with sweat. It's cold. I thought maybe her sweat had cooled her down, but then I realized her disheveled pajamas certainly weren't doing her any favors. With heart pounding a mile a minute and face red as traffic light, I set about buttoning her up. Miss Yui, you know who this is, right? It's Mochida from school. If you're cold, you need to sleep under your covers. Otherwise, you won't get any better. She absentmindedly extended her shaking arms like a zombie, slowly reopened her eyes, and looked up at me. It was the gaze of a severely fevered mind. Miss Yui? Huh? Huh? A lot of fan service in this one. Miss Yui was clinging to me tightly. I couldn't move. I was frozen in shock. She began to weep. You've come for me, Tsukasa. Who's Tsukasa? What a lovely surprise. I'm so glad you're here. Miss Yui, wait. You've got the wrong person. It seemed like I wasn't getting through to her at all. And the sensation of her chest as she held me was making it virtually impossible to fight her grip. I was utterly powerless against this opponent. I never realized before just how soft a woman's chest really was. Okay. God, am I that weak-willed? I had to remind myself that Miss Yui had me confused with someone else. Mustering all the strength I could, I gripped her arms and tried to pry them off of me. But she was a lot stronger than I'd anticipated, and she wouldn't let me get away. I was so scared, Tsukasa. I was so scared. Scared? I never thought you'd actually come. As she squeezed me tightly, I felt as though my upper body might collapse under the pressure of her softest parts. I can't. This is what happens when you play anime games. Deep breath, deep breath. I was blushing uncontrollably. Miss Yui, please let go. No, I won't. Come on, Miss Yui. I struggled to wriggle free, but Miss Yui only grabbed me tighter. Our bodies were getting more and more intertwined. And every time I squirmed, Miss Yui would just pull me in even closer. As her chest rose and fell erratically, droplets of sweat slid down into her cleavage. I could feel the heat of her fever radiating off of her steadily encroaching face, as well as the shoulders I'd grabbed in an effort to push away. Stay here with me, Tsukasa, please. I'm telling you, you've got the wrong person. Questions were swirling around in my head. Why was Miss Yui crying? And who was this Tsukasa person? But I was most concerned about the state of her pajamas, which had become even more disheveled during our struggle. Miss Yui, your pajamas, your pants! Huh? They're sliding down! Tsukasa, you're so warm. Miss Yui, please! Realizing that not a single word was getting through to her, I sighed resignedly. Resignedly? I'd taken care of Yuka any number of times when she'd caught a cold or drawn a fever, but I don't recall ever getting this bad. Miss Yui was usually calm, collected, and rational. Who would have ever imagined that fever could leave her so thoroughly discombobulated? Tony, I'm losing it. Miss Yui, seriously, pull yourself together. I put more strength into my resistance, and finally, her arms relaxed just the tiniest bit. But her expression changed drastically. No, please. Miss Yui, I'm Satoshi Mochida, not this suit. Please don't go, please. Miss Yui was acting like a spoiled child. Slipping out of the shoes I'd been wearing, I again drew close to her sprawled out form. There was no way I could just leave her here like this. I mean, there is, though. Not your business. I sure hope none of this seems too sketchy after your fever breaks. Miss Yui let out a lethargic groan, perhaps in response to my quiet murmurings. At my wit's end, I grabbed hold of her hand and did my best to carry her into the back room. Gently wheeling her over the unfurled futon, I then carefully laid her down, making sure I didn't drop her in the process. Then there was the matter of rebuttoning those pesky pajamas again. I don't know what's funnier, the way you're reading or the story itself. I try. I put emotion behind it. Next level voice actor over here. Just don't make me do different... I can only do my voice. I hesitantly pulled up her pajama bottoms and brushed away the stray hairs that were plastered to her brow with sweat. I'd done my best to avoid seeing anything I shouldn't, but I am a guy, so my heart was pounding the whole time. Miss Yui's pajamas were soaked through with sweat. She really might have been better off with a change of clothes altogether. But no, that would have been going way too far. Wish I could find a towel or something so I could at least wipe some of that moisture away. Ugh. Noticing a convenience store bag carelessly tossed to the floor, I glanced inside. Hey, she already bought cold packs. Why wasn't she using them, jeez? Miss Yui, this might be a little cold, but bear with me, okay? Alright, I think that'll help. I placed one of the compresses on her forehead and pulled the covers over her. Look at the cat. Miss Yui appeared almost instantly relieved. She exhaled contentedly and her breathing became more relaxed. Finally, she was asleep. Zzz. She's still holding his pants, I just noticed. Even in sleep, Miss Yui seemed to be suffering. Oh, Monet, were you worried about your master? I don't blame you. When Mr. Yamazaki said she was sick, I had no idea it would be this bad. Monet had coiled up on my legs without me noticing. I began absent-mindedly speaking to him. He mewed in response, and our conversation ended there, as my gaze was still fixed squarely on Miss Yui. So, what do I do now? Miss Yui? Zzz. Are you okay to be alone right now? Sounds like a yes! She wasn't in any condition to respond, but... Miss Yui? Miss Yui's hand had slipped from under the futon and was gently grasping my pant leg. Hey. Zzz. Her grip was much weaker than before, but I knew I'd probably regret it if I went home now. Miss Yui just seemed really lonely. Well, I guess I'll settle in then. No. Woo, ain't dead yet. Nope. I got an EEG today. They made me lay in a dark room and they flashed lights in my eyes while they scanned my brainwaves. So that was fun. And they put a bunch of gross stuff in my hair that was like impossible to wash out. Without disturbing Miss Yui's hold on me, I took a seat beside her. For the time being, I figured I'd watch over her and make sure her condition didn't worsen. Occasionally, Miss Yui's breathing would become ragged and she'd furrow her brow. She was in a pretty bad way. Poor thing. Wasn't there anything else I could do? I glanced quietly down the hallway. I'd noticed when I carried Miss Yui in here that the kitchen near the entrance was perfectly neat and tidy. 10 out of 10. There wasn't any indication it had been used that day at all. I wonder if she's eaten anything. Huh? Monet's gaze shifted suddenly. I followed it and I saw pet bowls laid out in the corner of the room. One dish was filled to the brim with water and the other was piled high with dry cat food. I see someone's eating well around here, huh? She fed the cat at least. Even delirious with fever, she's still taking real good care of you. But that's not good, Miss Yui. You should be thinking about your own meals first. I mean, think about both of them at the same time. They need to eat too. I shook my head at the whole situation, then glanced down to Monet, who was tilting his head as if trying to understand me. I broke into a wry smile. When I'd pulled out the cold packs, I did notice some cheap convenience store food in the bag as well. I guess that was going to be her food for the day. Not exactly the best stuff to eat when you're sick. There's rice and eggs, at least. Maybe I'll make egg porridge or something. What if she doesn't like egg porridge? Miss Yui, may I borrow your kitchen? That's a yes. Face was bright red and half pained, contented noises provided me with no clear-cut answer to my question. Why do they gotta, like, put so many fancy words in it? The tongue twisters. Don't think I'm going to get much out of her. How about you, Monet? Do I have your permission to use the kitchen? Excellent, thank you. Monet's cries helped assuage my guilt over entering a woman's apartment and borrowing her kitchen. Not that I had any reason to feel guilty. I don't think anyways. I mean, circumstances were what they were. I mean, I would not like it if somebody that was like a colleague that I just kind of like worked with came in and did all of this stuff. I mean, just saying, oh, that was a good crack of the neck. That hurt. Whew. Oh, I just broke my neck. Okay. Still, I had this nagging sense that I should have somehow felt bad about what I was doing. He's too horny to feel bad. You know, there's no regret down there. Wait, this ain't a dating sim? No, this is Corpse Party. A very gory and gruesome game. Just wait, Endergod. Just hang around. This is not a dating sim. Excuse me, please, Miss Yui. I'm going to need to get up. One by one, I gently peeled off each of the fingers I latched onto my pant leg. The expression on her face changed as I was doing so, from contented rest to mild annoyance, but there was nothing to indicate that she might wake up. Yes. He's her student! Alright then, let's see what we can do, shall we? As I stood up, Monet mewed happily and began tagging along at my heels. Achoo! And Miss Yui, now resting by herself in the bedroom, let out a sudden sneeze. Bless you! Gazunde! Ah, you got ads! Bro, okay. We're gonna allow. I apologize. It's been Twitch like did something. Oh my god, you're so hooked! Thanks, Endergod! I appreciate you. That was nice. Twitch like did something about ads. Oh, I just realized it got blocked. Wait a minute. It was too low on the list. We put that there. Oops. We gotta replay it. Where's it at? There you go. Now you can see it. I didn't know it would be blocked. But yeah, Twitch has been doing this thing where for some reason they like way upped the amount of ads that every channel is getting. And like I originally only had it for like 3 minutes per hour, but like every 5 minutes people would be getting ads. So I literally turned down the settings as much as you physically can. Yeah, it's my friend Avon saying poggers. The follow sound is Biwo Weewo, that's Alec. I was gonna say, but yeah, and so it's like I literally turned it on where it's not supposed to give ads until half an hour in, and then from there it's supposed to do like 30 seconds per hour or something. Yeah, because it just hit half an hour in, so you should have gotten it at the half an hour in. But that was like, I literally as low as I could, because I can't turn off ads. It comes with being an affiliate, but I'm like, you only make like 10 cents from ad revenue a month, so I'm like, I don't want it. So I'm like, I've tried to turn them down as much as I can. I do apologize for everyone getting ads. Come on, Yui. Gross, I just got sprayed. Sorry, I've got a real tingle in my nose today for some reason. Just become a sub to not get ads. Well, I'm not gonna pressure people to sub. I don't do that. I do streaming for funsies. Ugh, honestly. Tissues. Huh? Where'd I put them? Oh wow, did I get that much on you? Here, use one of mine. It's the least I can do. Great, don't mind if I do. What? She was talking to me. May I have one too, please? Let's see. Here we go. Thanks. I'll pressure everyone peer pressure. You'll be the bouncer at the door being like, there's a $5 cover charge. You guys really should keep extras with you, you know. Well, sorry. Honestly. So what were we talking about again? You remember, we were talking about what it's like to be seniors now. My favorite word, funsies. Oh, I know, right? Can it really just be one more year before we graduate? While graduation is important, don't forget that there's life afterwards to think about as well. Huh? Our careers! Ugh. No, I really don't want to think about that. Well, there is a reason we've been subjected to all those career counseling sessions, and it's because our futures are just a big question mark right now. No kidding. What are we going to do with our lives? It's scary. Don't stress me out like this. Any ideas, Yui? You have plans for the future? Actually, I've got it all figured out. Huh? Well, don't leave us hanging. Out with it, girl. Well. Aw, look at little Yui. She looks exactly like Naomi and Psycho. Just saying. Seiko, Seiko, Seiko. Not Psycho, Seiko. My name is Yui Shishido. I'm 17 and my dream is to become a teacher. I butt into the lives of others without a second thought, and I spend most of my time doing nothing important. That's a sad realization. I butt in all the time. I don't do nothing that means anything. But I believe that even someone like me can make her dreams come true with enough hard work. Kitsaragi Academy, 5 years ago. The cherry blossoms were in bloom, and the rustling wind carried with it the soft warmth of the season. I was a high school senior now, and was devoting myself to my studies in preparation for the day my dream could finally be a reality. And that dream was to become an English teacher. Okay, so every time I hear English classes, I think about, how we study English for, grammar and stuff like that. Since the game's technically supposed to be in Japanese, would it be that they're actually studying Japanese, grammar and stuff? Or are they actually studying a foreign language? These are the questions I need to know. So, I make these hypotheticals and then stress myself out. So my best bet was to score a special recommendation from the Academy. Whew, that was a lucky break. When I got called to the office, I had no clue what it might be about. After school one day, I was summoned to the teacher's staff room. I was freaking out that maybe I'd failed or my grades weren't good enough for the school I wanted to go to, or something terrible like that. But it turned out my fears were all for naught. You have no rival in our academy, they said, so if you keep working hard, we'll be happy to give you a recommendation. Man, was that ever a pick-me-up? I feel like I could take on the world now. I'm going to have to make sure I don't let this chance slip me by. So, this trash can. Why exactly is it so ridiculously heavy? I mean, again? Carrying this beast to the dumpster is going to be the death of me. Oh, anime boy. Hey. I turned around, still holding the garbage can. The voice belonged to a male student I had never spoken with before. I'd seen him around a lot, though. His name was Tsukasa Mikuni, from class 7. Watch your step. There's a root sticking out of the ground here, and it's pretty easy to trip on. Huh? Ah. Ouch. Hey, what's the big idea laughing at someone else's misfortune? Well, it's not funny. Shouldn't you be asking if I'm okay or something? My bad. Oh, you don't have to help clean up. You'll get your hands dirty. Don't worry about it. It's the least I can do after laughing like that. Thanks. No problem. That should be everything, right? Yeah, looks like it. Cool, let's go then. Huh? I remember it well, even now. This was my first time talking with Tsukasa, and he left a strong first impression on me. It was funny though. That's really kind of you. Isn't it heavy though? It is kind of funny though. I mean, I hate laughing at people who fall because I fall a lot. But that's why I feel justified, because when I fall, everyone laughs at me. Not especially. I am the one assigned to take it. Maybe I should. It's fine, really. There, everything is in its place. Thank you so much. You were a huge help. Catch you round. Hey, hold up. I feel like I should do something nice for you in return. Don't worry about it. Your thanks is plenty. Look, just wait there a second, okay? Making a new friend is always great, but when it happens to be Tsukasa Mikuni, it's all the better. He'd kind of been on my mind for a while. You didn't mention that until then. Literally this whole time she's like, oh, this guy I'd never talked to before, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Most of the times I'd seen Tsukasa before this were in school courtyard. The school courtyard. He spent a lot of time there sitting alone on a bench. Even after school or during summer vacation, if I happened to pass by, I would always see him there. And after this little encounter, we'd go on to make many fond memories together. Yet somehow, the image of Tsukasa that stands out most in my mind is of him seated alone on that courtyard bench. For you. I hope Cafe Aole is alright with you. What? Alright? Sure, I guess. Anything's fine, really. Thanks. You know, it's customary when receiving a gift to quietly accept it without any offhanded remarks. Well, aren't you a stickler for tradition? We walked to the bench together, sat down, and began making small talk. That courtyard bench was a sort of mystical place. The leaves rustled over your head, and if you closed your eyes and opened your ears, it felt as though you were in the middle of some forest. And then, if you looked straight up, the sunlight poured in through the leaves, and you almost felt like you were in another world. This is the first time I've ever actually sat on one of these benches. It's pretty nice, right? It is. It's lovely. Yeah, it really is. Oh, so is that why? Huh? Well, you come here an awful lot, right? Like, even after school and during summer vacation. I sure do. So, you must really like this place then, huh? Yeah, I guess I do. Well, then there we go. The leaves rustled as a gentle I wish I knew how to talk. The leaves rustled as a gentle breeze blew between us. We were both silent for a bit, but strangely, it didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable. So, aren't you going to ask? Ask what? What I'm always doing here by myself or something. You're always here because you like this spot, right? Well, yeah. Words are hard. Words are hard. Too difficult. English don't make sense. Is there some other reason then? Not really. So, what would be the point of me asking? Well, you've got me there, but people normally ask me if it's boring being here by myself, or tell me that they don't get it, or say I'm a weirdo or something. I'm just not like other boys, you know, I'm like an outsider, I'm like that quiet guy who reads the books in the corner. You want to talk to me. Really? I don't know, I guess I just don't think of it that way. The way I see it, if you like it here, then why not come here whenever you can? I guess that makes sense, the weirdo then. Makes you the weirdo then. What? Hey, don't make that face. Coming from me, that's a compliment. What? Calling someone a weirdo is supposed to be a compliment? You bet it is. I'm not sure I buy that. You mean? The expression on Tsukasa's face was a dead giveaway that he really enjoyed talking to me. Talk away. And I've always loved the feeling I get when I know my words helped brighten someone's day. I must have been sporting one hell of a goofy smile at that moment. Actually, there's a place at the school that I like even more than here. Oh, what's that? I'm not telling. What? It's the girls' locker room. It's my special place. Which means it must be a totally awesome place, right? Yep. Aw, I really want to see it. Come on. No way. I can't spell the beans that easy. Besides, the view here isn't nearly as consistent. You there. Laughing, Tsukasa finished up his drink, then grabbed the now empty trash can he'd carried to the dumpster for me. You treated me to coffee, so please allow me to take this up to the classroom for you. What? Are you sure? You bet. Thanks, I'm in class 4 if I'm not mistaken. You're the famous Yui Shishido after all. Huh? How did you... You're that girl who already looks like she could be a teacher. I don't think there's a student in any of our 12 classes who doesn't know your name. What? From then on, Tsukasa and I met in the courtyard many times. We didn't really talk in the halls, but something about that place spurred our conversation. Cafe au lait again? Yep. Doesn't that get a little old? Isn't that just coffee without milk? I feel like I know a little bit of French. I feel like that's just coffee without milk. Not really. Or coffee with milk. It's either with or without milk, I'm pretty sure. You drink at least 2 a day though, right? Hey, how'd you know that? Seen it with my own eyes. There's a perfect view of the vending machine from here after all. There is? Yeah, I mean, it's right there. Oh wow, no kidding. It's literally like right there in the picture. What are you doing? What are you doing?
They see me here?
No. Oh wow, no kidding. Doesn't matter if it's after school or summer break. Shishido buying cafe au lait is like old faithful. You could set your watch by it. Well then, I guess we're even, since I always see you sitting on this bench. What? You're back on that again? Sure am. I guess I just find it interesting that we both took notice of each other's quirky habits. Weirdo. Our conversations in the courtyard were usually just silly. It was like talking to a good friend in class. Shallow, but genuinely enjoyable. It's always so cool here, even in summer. Ugh, don't mention summer. Huh? Why don't you like it? Not with summer school right around the corner. That'd be enough to make anyone run for the hills. I guess so, but we're seniors now. It comes with the territory, you know? The time for fun and games is over. I don't know. You seem like you're still having a lot of fun to me. Well, I am a bit of a special case. I'm just happy because I feel like my dream might actually come true. Oh. I just enjoy teaching things to people and having others depend on me. Why is that? I guess it makes me feel like a big sister or something. And since I'm an only child, you know. Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that then. Wow, that was about as dismissive a comment as you can get. Hey, not like I can do anything about it, you know. Despite his occasional boorishness, I could still feel that Tsukasa was a kind soul. If nothing else, he never actually laughed at my dream. And in a high school crowd, most people don't take you very seriously when you say you're trying to become a teacher. Tsukasa just wasn't like most people, I guess. Of course. He's different. The season was quickly turning to autumn. Oh, she's crying. After the school day ended, the senior floor was always a lot more quiet than its underclassmen counterparts. Everyone was off studying hard at the library or with tutors. So one day, thinking no one else was around, I sat down in a lonely corner of the hallway. Initially, I had grabbed my shoes and left the classroom, intending to head home, but along the way, I just started crying. I was overwhelmed. My sobs echoed from one end of the hallway to the other. That day, I had finally received a special recommendation to my top choice university. I was so excited, I just wanted to tell somebody, so I told my friend Tomo, but her usually supportive demeanor took on a somewhat harsher edge. Quit rubbing in my face. You know I'm still totally undecided about my future, right? My expression must have changed pretty drastically. Tomo's eyes suddenly widened and she quickly apologized. So I smiled and told her I didn't care. That's what I said anyways. But how couldn't I care? Tomo's dismissive words struck me like a dagger to my chest. I'm so insensitive sometimes. I wonder if everyone else feels the same about me. I kept wiping the tears from my eyes, only for new ones to take their place immediately. Why didn't I think of this sooner? So many people were still facing uncertain futures with no real goals in mind, and I was completely oblivious to it. I was the one with a dream, running around like the cock of the walk and blabbing about my successes and aspirations. I wouldn't blame them if they hated me. Could someone that insensitive to the feelings of so many other people really become a teacher? Did I ever even have what it takes to begin with? Shishido? I quickly turned toward the voice that had called out to me and found Tsukasa standing there. We'd never said a word before when passing each other in the hall, but he spoke to me that day with no reservations, as if we were old chums. Your face is a mess. Do you have a handkerchief? Yeah. Then wipe your face. Okay. Don't need to be rude. Okay. Tsukasa's concern and confusion was clearly written on his face. I didn't want to cause him any trouble or worry him, so I began frantically wiping my eyes. Did something happen? No, everything's fine. You're crying an awful lot for someone who's got no problems. No, it's just, there was a little misunderstanding between a friend and I. But we patched it up right away, so it's alright, really. But these are, you know, something like tears of happiness, I guess. Yep, see, I just found out that I got that recommend. I'm not sure if I did it out of respect for Tsukasa or just because I wanted to change the subject, but I cut myself off mid-sentence. I was doing it again. What was I thinking? Now even Tsukasa was going to hate me for being a braggart. Hell, I hated myself. I was the worst, just the worst. But, whoa, really? He was happy for me? A bit taken aback, I nodded firmly. You did it then! Congrats! Yeah, thanks. Thank you. So what's with the waterworks? Even with the recommendation, you still have to take an entrance exam, right? Yeah. So isn't it a little early to be crying tears of joy? Yeah, maybe so. I was just really happy that you congratulated me. Oh, come on now. Sorry. For what? For crying like this, without even knowing why. If you don't know why you're doing it, then how about you hurry up and dry those eyes? Sure, I think I'm fine now anyways. I swear. As I rubbed my swollen eyes, a smile broke through, and Tsukasa let out an exasperated sigh. Then, as if suddenly remembering something, his eyes lit up. Oh hey, wait here a sec. Huh, okay. Tsukasa ran into his classroom, quickly reappearing in the hall again just moments later. He was holding something. Here, I want you to have this. A pencil? In his outstretched hand rested a short, stubby little pencil, not the sort of thing you'd expect to go out of someone to go out of their way to lend you. It was pocked here and there with small scratches, but it still seemed to be relatively decent shape considering how obviously well worn it was. A pencil for guaranteed success. Guaranteed success. Use it on your test and you'll pass for sure. What, really? Max's hairdryer. Yep, they told me I never passed the entrance exam for Kitsaragi Academy, but, well, here I am, and I owe it all to this pencil. So this is the same pencil you were using back when you took your high school application tests? Sure is. It really jerked out a miracle. Don't like that. You could say the same thing about my life. Kidding. I assume you mean worked out a miracle, right? Not that that's a thing either. Yeah, that. At any rate, I shall happily take you up on your kind offer. Thanks. But listen, I'm only lending it to you until you've finished your test. You'll have to give it back afterwards so I can use it for my entrance exams. Okay. And whatever you do, don't fail the exam. Right. I took the pencil and nodded, smiling. This time, Tsukasa returned my smile. You're a really unique person. You know that? It's hard to believe how much you let other people's problems get to you. You'll make an amazing teacher. What? Jerked out, yeah. Jerked out a miracle. For a moment, I had no idea what he was talking about. But then it hit me. Tsukasa had somehow sussed out from our conversation that I was crying because I'd upset Tomo. How... And he was turning the fact around to offer me encouragement. Good luck. Don't let it get to you. Flutter. Flutter? He has some wings. I'd heard you shouldn't wish someone luck in times of stress, as it just adds more pressure. That's why people tell actors to break a leg instead. But I didn't care. Taboo or no, I cherished his kind words. I'll do my best, Tsukasa. Glad to hear it. That's when I really started to fall for him. But it didn't seem like he noticed, and there wasn't any real indication that he felt the same way anyways. Oh, my neck makes so many bad noises. I can still clearly recall the events of that day even now. It was October, the day before my entrance exam. The weather outside had been miserable since morning, and visibility was all but non-existent. It would be a bad omen if I were to slip and fall on the day before the exam, so I decided I'd wear boots to school, just to be safe. See you later! Can you grab me a Coke? Coke. Maximus. It's not that one. Wait, are they both empty? Okay, then I'll take a Sprite from the fridge. Thank you, babe.
I might go to Winco later.
Cool. I need to get stuff if you are.
We can probably go together.
Thanks!
Yep.
All this talking makes my throat dry, I'm sorry. Intermission! Ooh, that's good. And it's nice and cold. Cold Sprite hits different. When I opened the door, I was shocked to see a white-haired old woman lying on the ground, soaked to the bone. Yeah, thanks. I frantically rushed over to her side. Are you okay? Stay with me, come on. Tell me, what happened? Was it a hit and run? The road running by my house was narrow and mostly used only by our neighbors. But it's not like it was closed off to outside traffic or anything, so a hit and run wasn't outside of the question. Doing a hit and run in a neighborhood. I looked over to the old woman's body as best as I could. Fortunately, there was no signs of any serious injury. Doesn't seem like a car accident, at least. Young lady. Yes? You must not go to school today. What? You absolutely must not go. Huh? The old woman raised herself up slightly and spoke hoarsely. From the tone in her voice, she seemed terribly desperate. But I have to. Today is my last chance to practice for a college entrance interview. No! Just stay home. Don't go. I have to go. The interview is the part of the exam I'm worst at. Please, tell me what's wrong. Where's your family? Will you go? No matter what? Yeah? In that case, please. Not knowing what to say, I nodded apprehensively as the old woman began digging through her pockets. She produced what looked to be a crumpled scrap of paper. As she was digging around, I noticed that her breathing had become dangerously ragged and began considering my options to assist her. Really, I should have gone back into the house and called my mom. But there was something about her that kept me glued to the spot. I sensed desperation hiding that unbroken gaze. You must take this. What is it? A charm. A charm? Does this mean she's gonna not die in this one? Because she died. She fell through the floor in the last one. The old woman clutched my wrist and forcefully pressed the scrap of paper into my palm. Tilting my head, I unfolded the scrap and looked carefully at it. At first, I thought I'd just been handed a piece of trash. What? But when I unfolded it all the way, I saw that it was actually a paper doll in the shape of a human being. And there was a name written on its torso. Yui Shishido. Yeah, my name, written plain as day in his easily legible brushstrokes. Why is my name on it? So it can protect you. Huh? If you don't write the name of the person you wish to protect, the charm won't work. Crazy. This was all crazy. I didn't understand any of it, save for one simple fact. This old woman was here specifically to give me this strange paper charm. As far as I was aware, we were total strangers to one another, but she clearly knew both my name and my address. No. I'm trying to think of who this could be, because the old woman, I mean, unless it's like just gray hair, I guess it could be anybody, but she obviously died in the last game, and this is somebody who knows what's gonna happen, and she's trying to protect her. So, like, she knows that if Yui goes to school, it'll lead her to end up going to work at Kitsaragi and eventually lead doing the Sachiko Ever After charm and eventually lead to her dying. So she was trying to make it so she didn't even work at that school. I'm sorry. I know you came a long way to give this to me, but I don't want it. You don't want it? As I extended my arm to return the paper doll, I could sense her entire demeanor had changed. She raised her body up unsteadily from the wet asphalt. Why not? Well, I've nearly killed myself bringing this to you. Why will no one listen to me? You must not enter Heavenly Host Elementary without this charm. Heavenly Host Elementary? Yes, you must not go. Don't go. As the old woman cried out, the paper doll fluttered lightly to the ground. Almost instantaneously, it became soaked through with rainwater. My name began to run and quickly turned into an illegible black smudge. Seeing this, the old woman grabbed and tore at her hair. No, the charm! The way out has been lost! Ma'am, please calm down. Listen, you must not go to Heavenly Host Elementary. I think there's been some mistake. My school is Kitsaragi Academy High. I've never heard of Heavenly Host Elementary. Ma'am! Oh god. Mom, come quick! What's wrong? An old woman collapsed in front of our house. Call an ambulance. Okay. Paramedics arrived in a matter of minutes. The old woman seemed to be unconscious by that point, however, so the EMTs brought out a stretcher. Do either of you know this woman? No, she just collapsed in front of our house. We've never seen her before. Alright. Would you be willing to ride with her in the ambulance? The idea of making this old woman go to the hospital by herself just seemed like it would have been a shameful thing to do. Sure, she was a stranger, but we'd had a lengthy conversation mere minutes before, so I couldn't very well say we had nothing to do with one another. Are you leaving? Are you going to come back for us to go to the gym later? Yui, you need to get to school. What? But don't worry, I'll go with her to the hospital. You have to practice for the interview today, right? Yeah, I guess I do. Thanks, Mom. I'll leave it with you then. Bro, and she had another escape there. I'm like, gonna turn off the lights. It ruins the colorful lights if you don't turn off the normal lights. Ugh. Should I change it to like rainbow? Wait 1 second. Let's see, let's change it to rainbow. We'll have the gamer house. There we go. Now it's rainbow. Oh, that's not rainbow enough. Is there like a more rainbow? Ah, that's too much. That's too much. Gamer colors. Oh, that one's pretty good. That one's good. We'll leave it on that one. Okay. Thanks, Mom. I'll leave her with you then. Good luck. I was a little hesitant, but I knew I really had to go to school today, no matter what. So I left the strange woman in my mom's care and, heading towards the school, walked right by her stretcher. Saw the TikTok about you being an e-girl. That's the lighting setting that's on right now. Suddenly, a hand rose from the limp form and the old woman grabbed my skirt. Startled, I tried to jump away but found myself ensnared by her terrible bloodshot eyes. You must not go! See, I've been a gamer girl since I was like 3 years old. Me and my dad used to play Call of Duty. I need another sip. After school, once my final practice interview had concluded, I reunited with my friends and engaged in the usual regimen of gossip and small talk. Can you believe that? That's really scary. The hell was wrong with her? When I described the events of that morning, everyone's eyebrows rose. They were hanging on my every word and yelping in unison at key moments. Yui, maybe you should have stayed home today after all. Well, but I had to practice the interview. I couldn't miss that, you know? I just hope nothing bad happens. Oh, come on. What could happen? Oh, you know what? When you mentioned Heavenly Host Elementary, I thought it sounded kind of familiar, and I just realized why. You know the 7 Wonders, right? 7 Wonders? You mean those urban legends about Kitsaragi? Yeah, those. Does Heavenly Host Elementary have some connection to them? One of the stories is called Yoshi After School. Ever heard about it? Definitely not. I've never heard of it either. What's it about? Well, it takes place at Heavenly Host Elementary, which once occupied the same plot of land where Kitsaragi Academy now stands. Oh, okay. It said that one day after school, a female teacher who had been patrolling the grounds slipped and fell down the stairs and died. The accident took place on a rainy October day just like this one and occurred just after 7 at night. And supposedly, Yoshi still appears on days like this. Ever unaware that she died at Heavenly Host this many years ago, and she now walks the halls of Kitsaragi Academy believing them to be her own. Oh, come on. No, is it true? Well, it wouldn't be one of the 7 wonders if somebody hadn't actually seen it happen, right? That's really creepy. Why don't you head home, Yui? You're the only one who doesn't live nearby, so we can't walk with you. And given the stuff that old woman said to you? Yeah, it's always best to heed the warnings of the elderly. It's not always best. It's not always best. You might be right. I am still feeling kind of on edge. Maybe best I go home and check in with Mom. I'll see you guys later then. Bye. Bye-bye. Take care. Give it everything you've got tomorrow. Why is that like such a big thing in animes? Give it everything you've got. Like, I don't know. I will. I quickly packed up my things and rushed out of the classroom. It was already about 5. It was getting dark out, but if Kana's story was to be believed, I had until 7 before anything bad might happen. As I continued wending my way down the corridor, I just kept telling myself, there's nothing to be afraid of. Even so, it felt like it took some extra long time to reach the shoe lockers. Took an extra long time. Man, I'm such a scaredy cat. So, like, in Japan, do they just not wear shoes during school? Like, ever? Like, do they literally, like, it's just shoe lockers? You come in, you put your shoe, and you leave? Like, I feel like that'd be kind of nice. I want to have school with no shoes on. What about if people have smelly feet, though? Man, I'm such a scaredy cat. Oh, hey, Shishido. Tsukasa. Heading home? Yep. What's with the big grin? It's nothing. Hey, why don't we walk together, at least part of the way? Sure, I don't mind. Great. When I looked at Tsukasa's face, my fear vanished. But for a moment. These are the times when it's really nice to have boys around, I thought. Yeah, let them attack the boys. You know, any ghost, it's the #1 rule. The ghosts have to go after the boys first. Just another example of female privilege. Probably clear the room with my stinky feet. See, the nice thing is I've never really been able to smell. Or, like, if I can, it's very barely. So, like, I've always been friends with, like, all the guys, and I've never had an issue because I just can't smell when they're stinky. Whew. When I looked at Tsukasa's face, my fear vanished. But for a moment. These are the times when it's really nice to have boys around, I thought. I felt that as long as he was by my side, nothing bad could happen. Didn't hurt that I had a crush on him, of course. The rain had let up since that morning, though it was still coming down. The two of us walked side by side, umbrellas held high. Tsukasa was talking and laughing excitedly the whole time, whereas I probably came off as preoccupied. I'm sure it was awkward. Occupied. A vague sense of fear flickered inside me, and it was making me extraordinarily self-conscious. I'm certain it must have been reflected in my behavior. Shishido? You look kind of pale. Did something happen? Okay. Hey. Yeah, something scary happened. Something scary? I probably seemed really on edge. Tsukasa was staring at me with this look of abject concern on his face. I was a little relieved that he'd asked, though, and it felt good to tell him about what happened. I filled him in on all the details and explained how they related to Kana's ghost story. I did my absolute best to convey the dread I was feeling. But Tsukasa was, well... The 7 wonders of Kitsaragi High, huh? Yeah. So you actually believe in that stuff? Oops, wait. Sometimes I wish I could see the world through your eyes. What? You don't think it's scary? It's weird for sure, but I wouldn't call it scary, and I wouldn't worry about what this old woman said to you. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. But wouldn't it be better not to dwell on it either way? I mean, yeah, your encounter with her sounds like it was kind of unsettling, but she was probably just a little off, you know? That's not the issue here. Huh? I wasn't asking you to solve my problems for me. Look, I just wanted to vent, okay? I just wanted you to listen. What do you mean? That's what I've been doing. No, not like that. I don't get it. Are you angry about something? Guys always do this. It varies from person to person, of course, but guys invariably jump right into looking for solutions to your problem or giving you advice on what to do. They do. As a result, girls often can't totally be honest with them, or just don't want to be at any rate, and are forced to bottle up their feelings. I only wanted Tsukasa to share in some of my fears. If he were scared with me, that would have been enough. I didn't realize then that Tsukasa telling me not to worry was his way of showing concern. I just thought he was brushing me off, and frankly, that annoyed me. My mind flashed over and over again to the face, the eyes, and the hoarse voice of the old woman. Amplified and distorted by the ghost story, these images gradually darkened my mood. Maybe I was traumatized by the events I had experienced, or maybe I was just frustrated and needed to lash out, I don't know. But for the first time ever, things had become decidedly uncomfortable between the two of us. Okay, well, this is me. Right. Shishido. He called out my name as I briskly walked by. I didn't really know why I was so angry or confused, but I did notice that his voice was tinged with concern. If anything should happen, feel free to contact me. I considered turning back for a second, but changed my mind and pushed forward in a huff, leaving him behind. I'm home. Yui, welcome back. Greeting me at the door, my mother wore a somber expression. I could tell right away that something had happened. I stared at her with scrunched eyebrows for an awkwardly long time before she eventually, reluctantly, opened her mouth to speak. About that old woman from this morning. Yeah? The hospital contacted me. She passed away a short while ago. No! I'm so sorry. You need to stay focused on tomorrow's exam right now, though. Yeah. We should put this unpleasantness behind us. I'm getting dinner started now, so how about you go get changed? Okay, I'll be in my room. I'll call you. I watched my mom work her way back to the kitchen, then wriggled out of my shoes. My mood had darkened even more. Tsukasa's attitude was bad enough, but for that old woman to have died. Returning to my room, I couldn't muster the energy to do anything but collapse into my chair and sprawl out on the desk. You must not go! The last thing the old woman had said to me echoed again and again in my mind. I began wishing I'd taken her more seriously. I should have accepted the paper doll and thanked her. I should have reassured her that I wouldn't go to Heavenly Host Elementary. I mean, the place didn't even exist anymore, for goodness sake. That's what you think. I was exhausted. It was a hell of a day, and I no longer even had the energy to move. I needed to change out of my school clothes, but still sprawled over the desk, my eyelids drooped and closed. I was out. Oh, the little pandas. Pandas are my favorite animal. I love them. I awoke with a start. The air in my room had gotten notably cooler, and I was shivering. I must have fallen asleep. Rubbing my eyes, I glanced at my clock. The needles indicated it was 6:45. It's already this late? It was black outside my window, streaked with lines from the still pouring rain. Sure hope it's sunny tomorrow. Sunny for my exam. The weight of what the next day held for me came rushing into my mind. I'd practiced the interview process with my teachers quite thoroughly, but I was still really nervous. Okay, I need to make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. There was still a little time before dinner. My mind swimming, I decided to take this opportunity to clean out all the notes and textbooks I wouldn't need tomorrow from my bag. Let's see, student ID needs to stay, obviously. Handkerchief and tissues. Gotta make sure I don't forget my exam ticket. Oh, and my pen case. Huh? Aw, crap, where's my pen case? Did I leave it at school? My cable management is falling. My face suddenly went pale. Well, I made a streamer say something super cringe and it was funny as hell and it's not against TOS. Better make sure to clip it! Really, I shouldn't have been too concerned over writing implements. I had tons at home. But that case held the pencil that Tsukasa had given me for guaranteed success on my exam. I have to go get it. Just going back to school. Hey Mom, I forgot something at school, so I'm going to run back for a sec. What? But dinner's almost ready. That's okay, I'll come right home. Alright, it's still raining though, so be careful. I will. That pencil was the one thing I absolutely needed to bring with me to that test. And so, without hesitation... Oh, where's all my cable management getting messed up? Without hesitation, I ran back down the road to school. I was sprinting as close to full speed as I could get without slipping in the downpour. All the while, the numbers on my bedroom clock ran through my mind. 6:45, and if Kana's story was to be believed, Yoshi haunted the school building at 7. Pant. As soon as I arrived at the gate, I glanced up at the large clock adorning the schoolhouse. It was now 6:55. They said that she doesn't live close, and yet she just ran there in 10 minutes. Yoshi after school. I went over the whole scenario in my head again, as best as I could recall it. After classes, on a rainy day in October, 7 at night. Did that old woman somehow know this would happen? Ugh, get a hold of yourself, Yui. It's just some old campfire tale. I was talking to myself, reprimanding myself, in an effort to quell the fear that was welling up in the pit of my stomach. There wasn't a soul to be seen on the grounds. By this time, the students had all gone home. I wondered if any teachers were even still around. Fortunately, the lights were all still on, and it was bright enough that I felt confident I could make it to the classroom without freaking out. Do you guys like the lights, by the way? Do you like the LED lights on stream? I think it's fun. Okay, I'll just run up, grab the case, and then come right back down. You can send it to me on Discord, Endergod, if you want. I folded up my soaked umbrella and left it on the rack by the entrance, then changed into my indoor shoes. Oh, they wear indoor shoes. That's what it is. It's not that they don't wear shoes. They wear indoor shoes. Then, entering the brightly lit hall, I took another look around. Sent it through DMs. That's fine. I'll look at that too later. Either way. Then, entering the brightly lit hall, I took another look around. Guess I was right. Nobody's home. My deep sigh echoed through the deathly silent corridor. Ordinarily, the din of other students would drown out noises like this, but every little sound was coming through crystal clear at this late hour. I needed to hurry. It's almost 7. I nervously sauntered toward classroom 3-4, picking up speed as it occurred to me to do so. About that old woman from this morning, she passed away a short while ago. It's said that one day after school, a female teacher had been patrolling the grounds, slipped and fell down the stairs, and died. The accident took place on a rainy October day, just like this one, and occurred just after 7 at night. And supposedly, Yoshi still appears on days like this. Can you guys hear her chomping? I can hear it. Ever unaware that she died at Heavenly Host these many years ago, she now walks the halls of Kitsaragi Academy, believing them to be her own. Jeez, what the hell is wrong with me? Why am I letting this bother me so much? Tsukasa was right. I shouldn't dwell on this. Lightning flashed and thunder resounded with impeccable timing. I jumped in spite of myself. I just need to hurry up these stairs, grab the pen case, and get the hell out of this creepy building. Being at school, in the darkness, is such a creepy feeling. Like, I remember, anytime I'd be at my school and it would be nighttime and we'd, be, in the quad or whatever, I just felt, so unnerved. No ghost should show up in a well-lit building like this, right? And even if they did, they wouldn't be very scary under all these bright lights. I absolutely need that pencil for tomorrow's test. It's my good luck charm, after all, and it's from Tsukasa. I picked up the pace as I continued to head straight for room 3-4. I don't like when it goes from one ear to the other. It bothers me. The middle school is already pitch black. I guess there really is no one else around right now. And this hallway feels longer today than it ever has before. Was it always like this? I can't imagine I'd ever be on time if it were. I continued my brisk walk down the impossibly long hallway toward my goal, jumping every now and then whenever another thunderclap sounded. Kitsaragi Academy was comprised of both a middle school and a high school, and this evening it really felt like it was flaunting its massive size. Didn't help that my classroom was in the high school wing, which happened to be past the middle school, making it seem that much farther away. When a building that's usually so full of life goes completely quiet, it becomes such a lonely place. I swear I can hear every drop of rain. I was focusing on the scant few sounds around me as I paced down that long, lonely corridor. Then, all of a sudden, I heard a faint noise, as of somebody playing an organ. That was just my imagination, right? I mean, it had to be. There's no way anyone would still be here practicing, right? Is she playing in the blinds? Luna, what are you doing? I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. It was probably the sounds of the rain, wind, and thunder mixing together. It just sounded like an organ, that's all. I was convinced. I kept walking. But then, I heard the same noise again, this time much more clearly. It was unmistakable. No way! I was paralyzed with fear. My heart was pounding as if it was struggling to break free of someone's sinister grip. It's probably just some devoted member of the band, or a teacher who's working late. I'm just being stupid. Thinking about it, I vaguely recalled somebody mentioning an upcoming performance by the Wind Instrument Club. I guess an organ would qualify. Somebody must have just stayed late to practice, that's all. I can't get that damn ghost story out of my head. I took another deep breath and tried, again, to calm over my overly jittery nerves. Anything can be scary if you think that it is. I'd heard that if you let your imagination run too wild, fear can even make you see things that aren't there. And my imagination was most definitely running wild. I'm almost there. I might as well sprint the rest of the way. I decided to dash towards my classroom so I could get out of this hell as quickly as possible. I said hell. Hall. Finally reaching that familiar door, I swiftly opened it and flicked on the lights. Alright, I made it. Now I just have to be absolutely certain I don't leave here without that pen case again. Thanks to all my unexpected pauses to freak out over thunder and lightning, it took me far longer than it should have to get here. It was already well past 7. 7 o'clock, huh? It was the appointed time when the ghost of the teacher was supposed to appear, at least according to the school legend. No undead educators here. I let out a sigh of relief and relaxed my shoulders a bit. The lights were on both the inside of the classroom and out in the hallway. Sure, it was still dead silent, but the fear I'd been feeling had completely melted away. Yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of. The 7 wonders aren't real. I grabbed the pen case I'd come back for and shoved it into my pocket. Okay, mission accomplished. With my long ordeal behind me, more or less, I looked around the classroom and let out another sigh. I'd only ever known this classroom when it was bustling with activity, and thus found its eerie silence and utter stillness to be oddly fascinating. Such a strange feeling, being alone in a classroom like this. I got the idea in my head to try doing something I normally wouldn't be able to, like standing at the teacher's podium and writing on the blackboard. Chances like this don't come around too often after all. To me, the area behind that podium, from which teachers conduct their lessons, was like a sacred space. I dreamed of standing there myself one day, and could hardly resist the pull when presented with a rare opportunity like this. Well, no one's looking. To my classmates, this would seem like such a silly, stupid dilemma, but it didn't change the way I felt about it in that moment. Should I? Shouldn't I? Stand at the teacher's podium? How can I pass this up? It's a chance to feel like a real teacher. I decided I had to try it. During daily cleanup and such, I'd come and gone from this spot countless times, but this was the first time I've ever had an opportunity to just stand here and preside over the classroom. So this is how it looks to a teacher, huh? It's kind of awe-inspiring. Gaining a teacher's point of view in the most literal sense was starting to get me really fired up. It may seem silly now, but this was my stage. This was where all my dreams would play out. Someday, I began to imagine a future that awaited me. Painstakingly detailing some new piece of knowledge for students sitting attentively at their desks. Gliding chalk across the board, filling it with information to aid them in their studies. I sure hope I can make the cut one of these days. I was getting so excited that I even began to think my behavior was a little strange. Maybe it was the juxtaposition of this joyous, freeing visions at the prickling dread I've been feeling up until just about a minute or two before. But then, in the blink of an eye, one of these two conflicting emotions completely overpowered the other. What are you doing, dog? What are you doing? Are you behaving? Doesn't look like you're behaving. Can you start behaving? Oh crap, is this a blackout? Suddenly, my surroundings were bathed in darkness. Going stiff with shock, I stumbled back a step. My back struck the blackboard with a dull thud. What awful timing! I instinctively grabbed hold of the rail where the eraser sat. I felt chalk dust against my fingertips. My panicked heartbeat was making it difficult to breathe. Was this caused by the thunderstorm? If so, it sure picked a fine time to turn the lights out on me. And what's more, I can still hear the sound of the organ. But no, it's an electric organ. How is that even possible with no power? You must not go! Oh, do I die for picking to go? Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? That's impossible. She was no fortune teller or psychic, as far as I was aware. How could she possibly have known this would happen? Hell, even if she were a fortune teller or a psychic, predicting the future like this is the stuff of science fiction. I shook my head. I need to calm down. Maybe it's just the wing that lost power and the music room is still okay. That seems plausible, right? No. I curled my chalk-dusted fingers into a fist and silently tried to talk some sense into myself. I've got to get out of here. I shouldn't have been playing teacher. I should have been in and out by now. Cursing myself a little, I fumbled my way through the darkened classroom. I'd spent so much time in here, you'd think I'd be able to find my way out of it with my eyes closed, as it were. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Smashing loudly into a desk, I knocked it on its side and began trundling after it, instinctively grabbing onto other desks around me for support. Ugh. Damn it, it sounds like I knocked a lot of stuff out of that desk. Guess I'll need to put everything back. That's not a problem for right now. I'd be getting the fuck out. Still fumbling around blindly, I gathered up all the scattered notes, textbooks, and writing utensils. Ugh, I can't tell what's what. This is so embarrassing. What the heck am I doing anyway? Wasn't I supposed to be hurrying home? I'm such a klutz. I let out a sigh. I seem to be doing that a lot lately. Okay, this is a textbook, and this is a notebook, right? I was trying to take inventory of all the things I'd knocked out of the desk, but then I realized, why? I might as well just stand up and stuff it all back in. I couldn't possibly organize it properly in an absolute darkness. Better just apologize tomorrow to whoever sits there. Not that that was particularly pleasant prospect. Explaining what I'd done wouldn't be easy, and no matter how I sugarcoated it, it would serve as a clear indication of my clumsiness. If I didn't say anything, it's not like I'd be found out, but that would be the same as lying as far as I'm concerned, and I couldn't do that. Okay, I think I got everything. I placed my hand against the floor and swept it around, feeling for anything I might have missed. And I found something, all right. Ew, gross, what is this? It's all slimy. Ugh. I'd clearly brushed my fingers across something, but I had no idea what. It was no notebook or writing implement though, for sure. Why would anybody have something like this in their desk? Maybe it had been on the floor all along. What is this stuff? I rubbed my sticky fingertips a bit deeper into the wet spot and then brought my hand up close to my face so I could get a better look at what was there. What on earth did I just touch? Yeah! There was a flash of lightning almost immediately joined by a roaring thunderclap, and with it, for a split second, the pitch-black classroom was lit up bright as day. God, is that blood? I shot to my feet, utterly mortified. In that split second, I'd gotten a very good look at my fingers, and it really did seem as if they were covered in blood. But it wasn't just my hand. No, if my peripheral vision was to be trusted, it looked like the entire classroom was stained a deep, dark crimson. Crap, it kind of smells like blood in here, too. Without thinking, I backed away from where I'd been crouching. I tried rationalizing what I saw. How could a whole classroom become a bloodbath like this? Did something just spill? Did someone stumble in here injured? Well, you were in it with, like, the lights all on a minute ago, buddy boy. This isn't possible. It can't be. I mean, how? My whole body was quaking. I fled from the classroom. Or rather, I tried to flee. What? Why won't it open? No! Please, no! I don't remember locking it. And it isn't locked. So why can't I get it open? I pulled on the door handle again and again in a frenzy. I was pulling so hard it felt like my fingernails might tear loose. But it just wouldn't budge. Why? Why? Please! Call Sukasa. I was absent-mindedly grabbing at my hair with one hand and slammed my fist onto a nearby desk with the other. This was a nightmare. Please, no. What is going on? Silence saturated the inky blackness of the room. I took several deep breaths in an effort to restrain my pounding heart. Calm down. I have to calm down. I'm probably just panicking because the door won't open. I'm sure I just misidentified whatever it is on the floor. I mean, it's preposterous, right? There's no way something like that could be... I was certain that what I saw was actually I'm certain that when I saw what it actually was come morning, it ended up being something totally random, like someone's old soda-stained gym clothes. That has to be it. Yeah, I'm probably just brushed against somebody's paint for art class or something. My imagination was just running wild because I was panicking. And the door probably just had something caught in it, that's all. I decided to check out the hypothesis by feeling my way across the door and determining if anything was jutting out from any of the cracks. Damn, not sure I can do this without being able to see. I fumbled around the gaps in the door, but I just couldn't make anything out that would be doing this. And the classroom's rear exit seemed a world away. Maybe there's another way out of here. No, this was the 3rd floor. I couldn't get out of this classroom without exiting into the hallway. Let me out! Let me out! Still at a loss, I noticed a sudden flash of light through the hallway window. But the glass was only translucent, so I couldn't be sure of its source. Is somebody out there? Then there came the distinctive clomp, clomp, clomp of footsteps. Oh, of course! It must be the custodian! I recalled the existence of a custodian who always patrolled the school grounds. I was sure he must have been taking a look around and when the sudden... I gotta, like, slow down, but my brain doesn't slow down. I'm gonna take a sip. And I'm gonna stop talking. Ah. I was sure he must have been taking a look around after the sudden power outage. Great, I'm saved! All at once, my fear-addled legs regained their strength. This nightmare would soon be over. Excuse me! I shouted to the custodian through the window, and as loudly as I could muster. Excuse me, I'm trapped in here! I had to be sure he heard me. I shouted again. Finally, I could see the light out in the hallway again, and it seemed to be getting closer. However, something's not right about this. Perturbed, I took a step away from the window. If that's a flashlight, shouldn't it be brighter? And it kind of looks like the faint, unearthly glow classically attributed to spirits, was what I was thinking. I tried to stop myself from finishing that thought, however. Dullness aside, it also looked like it was wriggling around in a very unnatural, very unflashlight-like way. Jesus Christ. Ah. Jesus. And these footsteps. Clomp, clomp, clomp. 4 clumps. Then a 3 or so second interval. Then another 4 clumps. They were sounding in a fixed rhythm. That's no custodian. Nobody walks like that. Unflashlight-like way. It's like such a tongue twister. I kept saying unflashlight. The fear was back, in full force. I had to find somewhere to hide. What if I'd accidentally summoned something inhuman? I mean, whatever it was, I begged it for help. I literally invited it in. I need to hide. But where? I feel like the teacher's podium is not a good hiding place. I hurriedly squeezed myself into the metal locker where the classroom's cleaning supplies were kept. It was still pitch black in the room, so I really couldn't spare the time that it would take to remove its contents. Instead, I just contorted myself to fit. Ugh. The locker was thick with the smells of mold and varnish. If I can hold my breath for just a little while, I think I'll be safe in here. Is she gonna die from the gases? So I waited. I waited for the footsteps to pass by and fade into the distance, signaling that it was safe to emerge. Whoever it is better hurry. I feel like I'm gonna suffocate in here if I'm in here much longer. Still, it felt a lot safer in the locker than it did out in the room. But the footsteps weren't receding. They were just getting louder, closer, faster. Better, faster. What is it? Like better, faster, something stronger. I don't know, that old song. It's a Rattata. Rattata, 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 Rattata. Rattata, Rattata, Rattata. Rattata, Rattata. And then they came to a sudden halt. Huh? They were close, just outside the locker. It's just a bunch of Rattata. You didn't think you were gonna be able to make it, but here you are? Hell yeah, what's up, beater? This whole episode has been weird, and you missed a whole lot of fan service between Satoshi and Miss Yui. I peered through the ventilation holes. Amidst the utter darkness of the classroom, there wasn't a soul to be seen. Also, this is when we're currently watching Miss Yui in her senior year of high school. It's going pretty okay. We went camping this weekend. We rearranged the entire apartment. We got neon lights. We got a TV. And Max, like, got, like, a really cool, like, wall mount for the TV, so it comes way far out. Damn, how can I miss the best part? Also, if you watch me on YouTube or TikTok, I made a lot of YouTube shorts and TikToks over the past few days. I'm okay. As long as I stay in here, I'll be fine. I'm not sure why I believe that. Maybe because I needed to. Maybe because it was so dark, or because it felt so much calmer in a tight space, where nothing could possibly sneak up behind me. You know, ghosts don't pay attention to walls. Ghosts will touch you through the walls. I didn't know why, and I didn't care. I just knew that, as far as I'm concerned, I was safe in here. So I stood, motionless and cramped, and I waited. I didn't have to wait long. What was that? It sounded like a door locking. OMG, that's why I've been finding some of your clips recently. Yeah. We made a bunch of them. What was that? That sounded like a door locking. Suddenly apprehensive, I gently nudged the supply closet door, just to make sure it would still open for me when I wanted it to. No, it's locked! Found you! I let out a sudden yelp at this unknown voice and tried with all of my might to push open the door, blocking my escape. No, no, please! Let me out! Let me out! Is somebody still here? You'll need to be punished for that. Your favorite was Luna jamming to the music. Didn't it look so cute? And I was playing Happy. I'm like, she's just a happy girl. It was so cute with the lights. Huh? Huh? There was a brief moment of silence following the eerie voice's unsettling proclamation. And then, crash, crunch, the metal walls around me, on all four sides, began warping inward as if the supply locker had somehow been fed into a trash compactor. Ow, what's going on? There was no force I could imagine that should have been able to do this, but it was happening. This is definitely a wrong end. This already confined space was steadily closing in on me. It hurts! Open the door! Let me out! Crash, crunch. The collapse of the locker all around me continued, slowly and steadily. I could feel all manner of things pushing and cutting into my body. Yeah, that's the screen for you dead. That's the screen for you fucked up. Look at how it lights up my face. It has branded me as wrong. My vision went bright red. One of the blood vessels in my eyes probably burst from the pressure. I wasn't going to last much longer. The ventilation holes in the locker door were now pressed right up against my face, and through them I could just barely make out the figure of a person. It was the old woman from this morning. She was just standing outside the slats, staring right into my eyes. It's like you're looking at fire. I know, isn't it wild? Look how bright that shit is. And I've got neon lights going on. It was the last sight I would ever see as the locker finally, inevitably, smashed in my skull. Crash, crunch, crack, splat. Ugh. Yeah. Things happen. Wrong end. That's wrong end too. Okay, well, let's... Okay, wait. It was under quick saves, wasn't it? It was under one of the thingies. Yeah. How nice of it to save for me. I'll need to hide, but where? The teacher's podium, of course. First try. I hurriedly hid myself beneath the teacher's podium. I grabbed my knees, curled up, and made myself as small as I could. Yeah, this is about the teacher when, like, this is her senior year of high school. She's about to take her entrance exams, and this morning an old woman came at her with a Sachiko charm that had her name on it and said, "Don't go to school today, yada, yada, yada." And then she's like, "I'm going no matter what." So she's like, "Okay, take this charm." And then Miss Yui is basically like, I don't want it. And they end up dropping it and ruining it in the rain. And then they were told the old woman died, and then in that wrong end, the old woman came and killed us. But yeah, you know, things happen. What's this? What is happening? The footsteps continued to draw nearer and nearer. Clomp, 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 clomp. Little by little, the sound grew louder. Every hair on my body was standing on end. Please, just pass by, please. I held my breath, clasped my hands together, and silently prayed. Clomp, 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 clomp. They were close now. Very, very close. Please, God. Why was this happening? I couldn't make any sense of it. I just wanted it to be over. I prayed to God that it would end. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? Was this all happening because I ignored her? Because I didn't take the paper doll from her? How many stories this game got? A lot. I think the chapters, I think it had like 7 or 8 chapters, I think. This is number 3. Was it because I'd heard the ghost story of Yoshi and allowed it to get to me? Or did the strange events of the day have nothing to do with what was happening to me now? It feels like my heart is going to burst out of my chest. I was still holding my breath. I didn't dare let out the tiniest of sounds to give away my position. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap. The consistent rhythm of the footsteps suddenly ended halfway into one of its cycles. And it had ended right in front of this very classroom. I had goosebumps up and down my arms and legs. I stopped praying and clasped my hands over my mouth. I knew I'd scream if I didn't. Could this be Yoshi? Was the school legend real? Gotta be scared of Yoshi. All I could do was close my eyes, keep my mouth shut, and hope that whoever or whatever this was would just go away. But the footstep sounds didn't start again. If this was indeed Yoshi, then she'd stopped in front of the classroom and was just standing there. I had no concept of time anymore. I stayed in my hiding spot for what was probably only a few minutes, but felt like at least an hour. Maybe whoever it was is gone? I decided to carefully peek out from under the podium. I gingerly edged my head out just far enough to get a glimpse of the room when suddenly... That would freak me out. That's stressing me out already, just hearing the fast footsteps in my ear. I can, like, feel it in my chest. Ugh. The footsteps rang out once more. It sounded like they were headed right for me, and they might have been inside the room. I honestly couldn't tell. I scrambled back into my hiding spot and covered my mouth with both hands. That's stressing me out. I don't like it. This was too much for me. My breathing was coarse and erratic, and my face was a mess of tears and snot. God, please, save me. It was inconsolable. The footsteps just wouldn't stop. I know, this is stressing me out. What on earth were they doing? It almost seemed like they were running around in circles just to scare me. Stop it, please, stop it. I mouthed these words over and over again and moved my hands to my ears in a vain attempt to block out this torturous sound. And as if in response, the sound changed. It was a loud, dull thud, followed by silence. No more footsteps. Damn, that's scary. I know, I'm like, it's stressing me out so much. I'd heard that sound hundreds of times before. It was the classroom door sliding open. I peeked out, but the door was still tightly shut. How could that be? If the sound I heard wasn't the door, then what was it? What little safety I'd felt here was pretty much gone, but to be fair, I wasn't absolutely certain the spirit had seen or heard me either. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one, but I had to decide if it was better to stay where I was or to make a break for it. Luna, you got something to say? What are you doing? Come on. Come on, get away from the door. Leave him alone. No, don't give me attitude. Sassy girl, she's in her teens. fighting. That's why she's grumpy. I can hear them yelling. Oh, if you guys want to see something that I ordered for Luna today, go into the memes channel on my Discord. Tony, I'll text it to you real quick. It's gonna be so cute when it comes in. There you go. I was about to ask. Yep. It's in the Discord for memes. Because my friend was talking about it, but Tony's not in Discord? No, he is not. He does not have a Discord. So I have him on Instagram. I just send it to him there. I think we should stay hidden. I'll keep hiding. It'll pass by for sure. I'll be okay. It'll be okay. But it only took a moment for that decision to come back and bite me. Okay, maybe don't stay. Goddamn. My body was suddenly weighed down. In an instant, without knowing what was happening, my fetally positioned form was essentially locked in place. It was like a boulder had fallen on top of me and was resting on my arched back. I twisted and shuffled myself around, trying to shake it off, but the more I struggled, the heavier it became. And what's more, it felt like it was slowly inching its way up towards my head, as if it were planning on dropping down in front of my face. What is that? It's a dog harness with a hood that when you put it on the dog, it makes them look like they're a little reindeer. It's got the little antlers and it's got the cute little tail. But, like, it's an actual harness, and so, like, we can just put her leash right on that. We can walk her just with that. It's for Christmas. It's so cute! Can't just wait to see her wear it. I know, isn't it adorable? It's got the little booty tail. It's so cute. Was this a person? Don't like that. Guess who? It was a female voice, reverberating ominously as if bubbling up from the depths of hell. I squirmed violently, desperate to throw her off of me. Shall we play tag together? Also a bad end. My vision went red, or at least it felt that way. Whoever was on my back had dug her razor-sharp fingernails right into my eyes. I collapsed on the spot. The pain was instantaneous and unbearable. I could no longer hold my position. I could no longer focus on anything but this agony. My eyes! My eyes! Bad children must be punished. The pain shot through my head in waves. It was indescribable, unthinkable. I couldn't take it any longer. My consciousness faded, and I was gone. I would never know exactly what had happened to me, but maybe I was better off that way. Awkward. Yeah. Things happen. So make a break for it, huh? Big yawn. Wrong end 3. So we got 2 and 3. We didn't get wrong end 1. I don't know where we could have, but you know, whatever. I feel like those were our first ever choices. So... We love the quick save feature. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one, but I had to decide if it was better to stay where I was or to make a break for it. Make a break for it. Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble, so I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out as quietly as I could. It's really hard to tell which choice wouldn't actually kill you. I know! Like, I'm like, those are like rigged answers. Like, oh, do you want to hide at the teacher's podium, which isn't even a hiding place? Or do you want to hide in the supply closet, which is a normal place that you would want to hide? And then it's like, oh, the ghost was running around you in circles and was following you, yada, yada, yada. Do you want to make a mad dash for it now that it's stopped for a second, or do you want to wait a little bit longer? It's like, it's the most, like, backwards freaking situations. Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble, so I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out as quietly as I could. But almost immediately, I felt something. Is this gonna kill me too? Tap. Something long and thin had struck me in the back of my head. Perhaps struck isn't the right word. There was a little force behind it, but it wasn't a hard slam. More like someone trying to get my attention. Is that a wooden rod? No, is that a finger? I knew I wouldn't like what I was going to see, but I had to face whatever this was, so I turned around. And there, looming over me was... Is somebody still here? Go home, child. A figure was peering down at me from above the podium, with one emaciated, wishbone-like finger extended toward my face. Exactly, Beater. That's my thing. I recognized this person instantly. No doubt about it. This was the strange old woman who'd supposedly passed away earlier. I was scared out of my mind. I tumbled the rest of the way out from under the podium and shot to my feet. A ghost! There was really a ghost in this school! My breathing was ragged and my heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. Plowing through all the desks in my way, I ran as fast as I could toward the classroom door. But that was as far as I could go. What's wrong? Oh, what's wrong? Wrong tone of voice. I did angry, what's wrong? There, on the other side of the door, tied up against the glass, was the old woman. She was glowing bluish white, the source of the light from earlier. But how in the world did she get to the door before I did? How did she get out of the room so quickly, and position herself so perfectly to block my exit? Because she's a ghost. They do what they want. I felt like I was starting to hyperventilate, and tried as best as I could to calm my breathing as my eyes darted about the room. I needed to get out of here now, and to get as far away from this place as I possibly could. Can we help you choose? Sure, the next decision I'll sit and let you pick. If the front door is blocked, maybe I can get out through the back. But if I do that, I can't leave the school without running right past her. There's no way she'd let me by, but I have to do something. I bit my lip and continued. Hey, Miller, what's up? Thanks for the resub. It'll be fun. Hell yeah. Here, wait. I have an idea. I'm gonna get it prepped. We can run them as... Wait, let's see. I think I can do a poll from Twitch. Oops, not that one. Let's see. Poll. Okay, so we'll do... Pick the option. And we're gonna make them all option 1 and option 2. And I'll start that when we get to it. I bit my lip and continued scanning the room. Something. If I just had something I could use to fight back. I didn't have time to think carefully about it. I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There were 2 choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. Oh, okay, wait, I can't pause it? I can't pause it? Wait. No, that doesn't pause it. Okay, well, we're just gonna make this poll, and I'll just restart up to here. We'll put that poll on a 2 whole minutes. Options 1 or options 2? Love the idea. What do I do now? What do I do? Ah! This is for no option. We're gonna go back. You have to pick the poll. I did a poll. How do you see the poll? Let's see. If the poll doesn't work, then we will do that. But I did start a poll. I don't know how it works. When I worked over, the spirit of the woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the door frame. She really was trying to catch me. I was just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced. This had to be Yoshi, the teacher from that urban legend. Okay, you voted hell yeah. I had the sudden sensation of someone seizing me by the throat, accompanied by an unpleasant crunching sound. God, she really did have me by the throat. I couldn't breathe. For as old and frail as she looked, she was uncommonly strong. Gotcha! No! She was actually gripping me so tightly that she'd managed to raise me off the ground. By my neck! I could see her slender, bony hand in the peripheral of my vision, and I could feel it cutting into my trachea. Was that hand really holding me in the air against my will, kicking and frailing, by just the tissue of bones on my neck? I couldn't struggle anymore. I was like a puppet on a string. Tag, you're it. Dead as fuck. She just snapped my neck, easy peasy. With a sudden crack, my field of vision shifted 90 degrees and everything turned blood red. Oh my, just like me. Okay, has anyone else voted? View results. Oh, 2 people voted for option 2. Cool, we'll end the poll. Easy peasy. Look at this, democracy in action. Wait, can I? Let's see. We've got another one ready for when the next decision comes up. You didn't get the poll? Well, we'll go with it next. How did you get that ending? Because I didn't pick anything. It gave me a 10-second time limit, and I was stressing out so much on trying to pause it so that we could do the poll that it picked nothing. So, you'll get the next poll, Miller. The next poll that happens. Continue. Quick saves. Yes. So yeah, we had to make a break for it. And then we have to, can we just, can I just skip? Skip, skip, skip. It's not always timed? No, only that one was timed. Oh, yeah. We saw this. Okay. We've seen all of this. Felt like I was starting to hyperventilate. Yep. If the front door is blocked, maybe I can get out through the back. But if I do that, then I can't leave the school without running right past her. There's no way she'd let me by, but I have to do something. I bit my lip and continued scanning the room. Something. If I just had something I could use to fight back. I didn't have time to think carefully about it. I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There were two choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. So we voted bag of salt. This looks like leftover salt from an old chemistry experiment. I'd heard that salt was used in purification rituals, so it seemed like a natural choice. Okay, this is coming with me. I placed the salt in my pocket as a sort of protective charm. It's like a tiny little thingy of salt. I'm scared, but, well, here goes nothing. When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the doorframe. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. She just wants friends, okay? She's lonely. When you ever need a friend, you know, leave her alone. She died. I was convinced. This had to be Yoshi, the teacher from that urban legend. No, I won't let her get me. Bracing myself, I darted toward the door at the end of the classroom. There wasn't a moment to lose. If I didn't act fast, I probably wouldn't be able to act at all. I threw the door open and just began running at top speed, hoping to escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be a fruitless endeavor. The spirit saw me and moved at breakneck speed to intercept. Stop! What if she threw out the ghost door to stop being salty? But you're making her salty. Don't come any closer! I thrust my hand into my pocket and withdrew the bag of salt, then threw the entire thing directly at the old woman's face. She recoiled! Now's my chance! I ran down the hall as fast as my legs would carry me, briefly glancing over my shoulder after a moment to confirm the spirit was still writhing. I just kept on running down that dark hallway, with nothing but adrenaline and mortal fear to keep me going. I reached the stairwell at the end of the hall and made a mad dash towards ground level. I was determined to get out of this building alive. Luna? Hey, what are you chewing on? You behave over there. She listens at the door. Stop! Finally, still moving at top speed, I reached the window door leading outside. Almost there, I'm almost out! If that actually works, ghosts will never want to haunt your house. You got a lot of salt? I too am a salt connoisseur. Luckily, the malevolent spirit hadn't caught up to me yet. It actually seemed like I might be able to escape. I might actually survive this. You got plenty, hell yeah. I made it! I grabbed the handle and tried pulling it. Huh? This door's gonna be locked too? No, no, it's not opening. Why? Why? I'm so close. A bug of salt shook. My dad has one of those. I thought it was so cool. Please, please open. I'm begging you. I have to think of something else. At this rate, that horrible woman's going to... No, I can't let that happen. But what do I do? What can I do? Option 1 or option 2, guys. We can pick a bad ending for a second here. Let's go ahead and start her up. There you go. Option 1 or option 2. Oh, tabbing out picks. I mean, tabbing out stops it. We shall wait. While we're waiting, why don't we catch everyone up? How's everyone doing? I've got the LED lights in my house. Currently, it's set on like a Tetris mode, so if anyone wants to change anything, let me know. I could change settings. Some of them are like very flashy though, and those ones hurt my head. Speaking of which, when I was getting my EEG done today, they literally have you lay in a dark room, and then they flash lights in your eyes. And I was like, it was not a comfortable experience. And he put this like weird gel in my hair, and like the gel was like, oh, it looked so gross. It was like white gel in my hair, so it looked like I came from a bukkake. It was so gross. And that shit was like impossible to wash out. I had to put like so much shampoo on, just like scrub at my head. It was horrible. That shit sucked. Miller, do you see the poll? Nope, you don't see it. How do you see it, I wonder? It's at, for me it just shows at the top of chat, but I think Miller's on, what's it called? Miller's on mobile. How do we access it on mobile? Let's see. You already voted? Yeah. I don't know how to do it. It's on top of the chat. It says new poll. Does it say it on mobile too? Because Miller didn't see it. I don't know how Twitch works. I just work here. Oops. Oh well. It looks like we got 2 votes for option 2. So we gotta be really quick about it. I gotta click it as I tap in. All good. Okay, Miller. Here we go. We did it. Oh, hey. Putting my thoughts in order, I came to the sudden realization that I was right near the umbrella racks. Unless the spirit had taken it or something, my umbrella should still have been right where I'd left it. Ah, here it is. I practically tackled the rack, grabbing my umbrella in one swift motion. Not from the handle, mind you, but from the top. Then, taking aim at the glass part of the door, I swung as hard as I could, smacking it dead center with a sturdy plastic handle. So now she's breaking and entering! You're on mobile too? Maybe Miller just doesn't get to poll. Yeah! The glass wasn't going to break so easily, of course, but it did crack, giving me the impetus I needed to go for a second hit. Break, damn you, break! I don't think Miller got it for some reason, but it's okay. Again and again, I struck the glass. I had the umbrella gripped so tightly that the metal skeleton of the canopy was leaving indentations in my skin. I was sure there had to be a better way to do this. But I didn't have the luxury of time to figure out what it might have been. Stop! You must not leave! She's coming this way! I began smacking the glass even harder, even faster. My hands were killing me, but this was my only hope of survival. Finally, after far too much effort. The one thing that's like confusing, you can use command. Oh, I didn't know that. The one thing that doesn't make sense here is that, remember like in the original game when they're doing the whole like charm and everything like that, Miss Yui like comes in to spook everybody with Yuka, like Ayumi's telling the story, and then like Miss Yui comes up and like knocks on the door being like, is anybody still here? And like freaks everybody out. But it's like you'd think that she'd be like traumatized after this, being like, there's no joke, it's very serious. Yes, I did it. Vote in the option. Oh, so you do like, do you do like /vote and then 1 or 2? Nice. Okay, so yeah, /vote 1 or 2. Yes, I did it! The glass shattered onto the floor, making one hell of a sound. Tepid air whooshed from outside. It was still pouring rain, but I was free now to escape this hellhole. Okay. The pane I'd broken was on the lower half of the door, and I didn't care if I cut myself. I got down on my hands and knees and I crawled like mad. Oh, but yeah, so Destiny said, okay, yeah, easy peasy, easy peasies. I did it! I'm almost outside! I can actually escape! I'm safe! I felt triumphant. For a brief moment, the fear was gone, and I was basking in my victory over the malevolent entity. But it didn't last long. Before I was even halfway through the door, I felt something coiling itself around my arm. With a start, I looked back. You mustn't go outside. I don't like how that looks. A tall, shadowy figure had appeared behind me in the entranceway, and she had me in her grasp. Not again, yeah. There wasn't much more to her than an indistinct, flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly, root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue and pressing right onto the bone. You reminded me of that clip that I refused to elaborate. No! What are you? Where are you going, my dear? It's just a little longer, so won't you please wait for me? That hurts! That really hurts! I was shaking hysterically, and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die here. Let go of me! Sachi! I could offer no resistance, and she was too strong. All I could do was plead with her. Stop! Please! You're really hurting me! I felt like my arm would snap in two at any moment. Let's be together forever. She wasn't just grabbing, but twisting as well. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before, but I couldn't think about anything else. My mind was absorbed with the unconscionable agony. Shishido! Tsukasa? I thought my arm was about to snap off, and then, all of a sudden, I was whisked away. Whisked away by Tsukasa. Are you okay? Well, hi, Tsukasa. No time to explain, we have to run! What? Tsukasa was still holding on to me tightly after saving me from the brink of death. He led me back into the school at an incredible speed. Damn it, what the hell was that thing? Please tell me I'm just dreaming. Bad ending? I don't know. Tsukasa's here to save the day. He practically spit these words as he continued running. Why is Tsukasa here? I tried to match his gait, and once we were a bit more in sync, I looked up at his face. After we'd reached the end of the hall, he suddenly veered into the last classroom before the stairwell, pulling me in with him. Shishido, you okay? I'm fine. I can walk by myself, really. Oh, sorry, my bad. I moved away from Tsukasa and almost immediately slipped onto the ground like a house of cards. Whoa, you sure don't seem okay to me. Maybe not. I just need a few... Hey, don't push yourself. Tsukasa grabbed my arm to help me up. Unfortunately, it was the arm Yoshi had been twisting. Oh, sorry. Is it your arm that's hurting you then? Yeah, I don't know how bad it is, but it really stings, like it's on fire. I draped my other hand over the sore spot, where I assumed there was probably one hell of a bruise. Is he her crush? Yeah, that's the boy that she likes. I started rubbing gently, but it didn't help at all. That's not good. We should get you to the nurse's office right away then and take care of it. But then we'll be exposing ourselves to that ghost again, right? Yeah. Just thinking about going back out there and facing Yoshi made me shudder. I couldn't believe I was even entertaining the idea. Don't worry, even if she does come to get us, I'll keep you safe no matter what, okay? Tsukasa. Tsukasa's gentle reassurance actually made me forget the pain in my arm for a moment. I had to stop myself from blushing. Or try to at any rate. We need to treat your injuries as quickly as possible, or they could get worse. The nurse may not be in, but I can at least apply first aid. What does he expect to do? She said that it's probably a bruise? What are you gonna do for a bruise? Like, tap tap, you wanna ice it? Have an ice pack for 15 minutes? What are you gonna do after that? What's your plan? Okay. Alright then, let's go. It's not like she's bleeding. Tsukasa offered me his hand, and I graciously took it, squeezing it tightly as he led me back into the hallway. Tsukasa's hand, it's so warm. Despite the fact that nothing had really changed, I was still just in just as much danger as I had been. The paralyzing fear I'd been feeling was gone. If it were just me, I never would have been able to do this. I would have frozen up. But with Tsukasa leading the way, I felt like I could do anything. Except that she's done it on her own this whole time, and he only just showed up. But whatever. Shishido, are you okay to run? She just wants to play damsel in distress. Sure. With my blessing, Tsukasa upped his pace significantly. Please, don't let her show up. I prayed silently for a smooth sailing as I followed Tsukasa's lead. As long as he's with me, I think we'll be okay. I gently squeezed his hand again, as if to reassure myself that he was still with me. I was starting to think maybe Yoshi was gone. Maybe we'd thwarted her. But, of course, just as I was thinking that, she made her presence known again. True. Oh, wait, we gotta get another option ready. New poll. Okay, we're just gonna have that ready. What the hell was that? Show yourself! An unearthly voice reverberated through the dark corridor. I immediately drew myself into Tsukasa's back. Bring me more. Remember, because Sachi started killing for her, and then at one point she liked it. Over Tsukasa's shoulder, I saw the same shadow-like spirit from before. It must have been waiting here to ambush us. It's alright, stay calm. But the ghost is moaning and wavering before us. We'd never be able to get past it. You'll do anything for me. Hey, Shishido. Yeah? I'm going to draw that thing's attention. While it's distracted, I want you to run. What? No way! We'll run together! I've got a secret weapon. What? It's a keepsake charm my grandmother gave me. When I'd pointed at that thing earlier, it definitely had an effect. A charm? Yeah, if only we had a fucking charm, huh, Miss Yui? Huh? But, Tsukasa, you'll still be putting yourself right in harm's way. I'll be fine. It'll all work out somehow or another. How's he so brave fighting a ghost? I gotta tell y'all, if this was Max, Max would not be this brave. Not that there's anything wrong with Max. I adore him, but Max wouldn't be being like, oh yeah, I'll go spook the ghost. I got a little keychain. I'm sure I'll be fine. Like, oh, stay where you are. We really didn't have time to be arguing. It was closing in fast. And as it did, I noticed the spirit's figure had become more defined. She was a tall, young woman with her head turned sideways at a 90-degree angle. He's like, that ghost ain't got nothing on me. I know. I'm like, he's got, like, balls the size of basketballs. I swear to God, how does he hide them in those pants? The tale of Yoshi suggests he fell down a flight of stairs, so a broken neck would certainly fit. Go, run! Ah. He gave my back a shove to get me started, and with no time to object, I unconsciously obliged. Tsukasa ran too, darting ahead of me for a few short moments. Would Max pick you up and throw you at the ghost? No. He would most likely be the one running and just dragging me along because I really can't run. I have so many medical conditions, I'm actually not really supposed to actually run. So, like, when we go to the gym and stuff, I can't go on the treadmill. I have to go on the elliptical, and even then, like, it still fucks up my leg. So, honestly, we'd probably be running, and I'd probably, like, fucking dislocate a hip and be useless, because I'd have to sit there and try to stretch to pop it back in. So, if you're ever worried about bears, just go camping with me. I can't outrun them. Don't worry. I'll make a good and tasty meal. Ah. I'll taste nice and sweet and sugary from all of my soda. I can see that he does tosses her good luck. Or can he pick you up and run? So he can pick me up and carry me. But the problem is, I'm very tall, so I'm very awkward to carry. And so I don't necessarily think that he'd be able to run with me. I think he would just have to, like, drag me along by holding my arm. Like he does on hikes when we're, like, climbing rocks and stuff, how he has to be the one to go ahead and pick me up. Or go below and have him pick me up to pop me down. Like, I don't know if he could run with me, though. Hey, ghost lady, over here! Stop! Tsukasa. Here, wait 1 second. Tsukasa! Tsukasa ran as close as he possibly could to get Yoshi's attention, and then turned tail and began sprinting off in the opposite direction. Come and get me, you monster! Amazingly, it worked. The spirit began chasing Tsukasa, leaving me completely unobstructed. This doesn't feel right. Should I really escape without him? I was torn. On one hand, I knew this was my best chance, but I couldn't help worrying about what would happen to Tsukasa if his charm failed. I stopped for a moment and glanced over my shoulder. He was still running, and the shadowy figure was still in hot pursuit. Tsukasa, she's way too close! You need to take out your charm! It's fine! I told you to keep going! Once you're out of harm's way, I'll be right behind you, I promise! I still can't believe I fell for it, but this was right about when I realized the truth. Tsukasa had no protective charm. He just made that up so I wouldn't object too strongly to him serving as a decoy while I got away. No, I can't let him go through with this. I stopped in my tracks and shouted at the top of my lungs. Yoshi, hold it right there! I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I had to do something, and calling the spirit's name definitely seemed to have an effect. That's right, I know your name! Shishido, what are you doing? All at once, the black figure was facing me, though I never saw her turn around. She was flying toward me now, ignoring Tsukasa. I'm not scared, 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 I'm not scared. I repeated this like a mantra and stuck one hand out of my pocket, hand into my pocket, grasping it tightly on one end and the only item I'd stashed there. So you know who I am then. Unlike him, I have a real protective charm. Tsukasa's care, his effort, his beliefs, they were all packed into this pencil. That's putting a lot of weight on a little piece of wood with some graphite in it. And when you get right down to it, that's what a charm is, right? I squeezed the nubby little thing into my pocket, mentally preparing myself for the confrontation ahead. The confrontation I'd impulsively initiated. Shishido, you have to run! I won't. I absolutely will not. God, please protect me. I closed my eyes, lifted my hand from the pocket, and brandished Tsukasa's pencil intently. The gauntlet had been thrown. I was putting a lot of faith into this, and I really, really hoped I had made a mistake. I hadn't made a mistake in doing so. She's gonna kill her. Vito's like, this bitch got a pencil. Imagine like freaking a murderer running at you and you pull out your number 2 pencil. Being like, what you gonna do, dummy? You gonna take a test? You wanna see if you'll pass? My name is Yui Shishido, and my goal is to become a teacher here at the school. I opened my eyes to find that the shadowy spirit, Yoshi, had stopped dead in her tracks. Did it work? Was Tsukasa's pencil keeping this vengeful soul at bay? I don't need a replacement. Just die. Suddenly, I was whisked off my feet and slammed against the ceiling. Oh, it's like Supernatural. They go on the ceiling, they start bleeding from the bellies, and then they just light the house on fire. Happened twice. Well, technically more than twice, but twice that was like important. He said it best. I could see him down below. He was staring up at me and desperately leaping. He was trying to catch me, I suppose, even though he knew he'd never reach. Tsukasa! I called out to him over and over again in my mind. If he could get away, if he could just survive this ordeal, then it would have all been worth it. Yoshi was drawing near, and I was helplessly pinned to the ceiling. I had no chance at all. There was no doubt in my mind that my life was over. I clung to the relief I felt at Tsukasa's safety. It was the only thing keeping me from losing my head entirely. Then, all at once, the situation took a complete 180. It was like a miracle. Yoshi Shinozaki, stop right there! Before I had any idea what was happening, I found myself bathed in gentle light. The woman from this morning. Where's the salt when you need it? Trust me, I got plenty in here. I'm sorry I was unable to protect you, but now at least the evil will spread no farther. It was the old woman who had collapsed in front of my house. She was standing down below me, enveloped in a warm glow. Those are good ghost noises. You're doing great. You're ready for Halloween. The black shadow lunged toward her, and then there was a horrific noise, and the old woman was gone. Shishido! And just like that, I fell to the ground. He didn't even catch me! I thought he was like under waiting to catch me. And then I actually do fall and he doesn't catch me. Whatever Yoshi had done to me, the old woman must have nullified it. That must have been why she came to me this morning, and why she had come again now. I felt like I was going to faint. Tsukasa ran to my side and gently scooped me off the ground into his arms. Yoshi's spirit was gone. She'd vanished along with the light. Around us now, the only sound was the pitter-patter of raindrops on the school roof. Don't worry, she's filled with Coca-Cola, the popper head for a refreshing drink. Exactly. My veins are artificial corn syrup. Hey, Shishido! Tsukasa? I'd suffered quite a bump on the head from my fall and was decidedly disoriented, but I still had enough sense to put my arms around Tsukasa's neck. You idiot! Didn't I tell you to run away? I'm sorry, it's just... I wanted to protect you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you. This is what I wanted to say. But instead, I just passed out in his arms. I felt as though I was waking up from a long, horrible dream. Oh, E-boy! Hey, you okay? Shishido? Where are we? Man, how hard of a fall was that? We're in the nurse's office, can't you tell? The nurse's office? Ghost in the US, boo. Ghost in Japan, girl. It occurred to me to look at my surroundings. Probably something I should have done before asking about them, but in my defense, I was out cold. Beige walls, pink curtains, white beds with solid blue covers. This was indeed the school infirmary, no doubt about it. Why are you... A better question is why you're here. I found you passed out on the ground out there, so I carried you in. Oh, he found me passed out on the ground. Out where exactly? Jeez, did you get a concussion or something? It was right by the school gate. The school gate? That's where you found me? Uh-huh, ring any bells? But I was trapped inside the school and running from Yoshi, wasn't I? Oh, that's right, my arm. It's probably broken. Wait, my arm's okay? Huh? Your arm? Was it a dream? No, it couldn't have been. I mean, it really hurt, and I really thought I was going to die. Well, you're still a little out of sorts, but I'm glad you're safe at any rate. I guess you could say I had a gut feeling, maybe? I just got concerned and stopped by your house, and your mom told me you'd gone back to school, so I came to find you, and, well, I found you. Tsukasa? None of that happened? Apparently not. It was all in her brain. Yes, yes. Later on, there'll be time for thanks and such later on. Right now, there's something I've got to do, so hang on a sec. Bye. What are you doing? Okay. Where are you going, Tsukasa? I wanted to ask you about Yoshi. Ah, Shishido, glad to see you're awake. Why is the nurse here? Ma'am! You gave us both quite a scare. Mikuni was as pale as a ghost when he came to get me. Mikuni's is a sushi restaurant. We've got a couple of them around me. Everyone loves Mikuni's. I don't like sushi, so I don't love Mikuni's. I've never been, but I've heard great things. You gave us both quite a... Oh, wait, I saw that. I'm so sorry to have troubled you. It's fine, of course. But, you know, you were really moaning in your sleep. Were you having nightmares? Nightmares. Seems like you were. Mikuni was worried sick about you. So it really was just a nightmare then? Maybe that scary story this afternoon was just too much for me. Are you feeling a little better now, at least? Yeah. That's good. The nurse smiled cheerfully and disappeared behind the partitioning curtain. Letting out a sigh, I laid myself down on the bed once more. It was dead silent. The rain must have let up. The only sound I heard was an occasional cough from the nurse, who was otherwise going about her business quietly. Oh, wait, what about the pen case? I thrust my hands in my pocket, not really expecting to find it, but... There it is. The pen case, complete with Tsukasa's pencil talisman inside, was present and accounted for, which meant that I made it to my classroom. Maybe it wasn't a dream after all. Hey! Huh? Oh, Tsukasa, welcome back. Eh? I was still trying to remember exact details about what happened when I unexpectedly felt something cold pressed against my cheek. What are you... You were sleeping pretty restlessly, you know, and sweating an awful lot, so I figured you might be thirsty. Here, it's a cafe au lait. Oh, thank you. You're getting me a coffee late at night? Tsukasa went out of his way to buy this just for me. It was a lovely gesture. How could I possibly refuse? Hey, isn't tomorrow, or I guess it's today now, but either way, don't you have an entrance exam to take? What time does it start? What do you mean? It's like after midnight? Why is the nurse here? Like, can we answer that question? It's not like he called in the school nurse being like, come out here. Like, no, they're not on call. At 9. So in 4 hours, it's 5 a.m.? It's 5 a.m.? What? We never made it to dinner. What happened in 5 the mom just didn't care and he's giving her coffee after midnight. Yeah, he's giving her coffee at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And the mom just wasn't concerned. He said that he went by her house. The mom's like, oh yeah, she ran to the school. And it's like 5 a.m. Like, her mom was making dinner. This timeline is not adding up. God, I don't even want to think about that right now. Not after the day I just had. I'd been put through hell on earth. Taking a test was the furthest thing from my mind. I was in tears, and I had no idea why. Maybe it was because I was so relieved, so glad to be alive. Okay, hey, Shishido, can you stand? Huh? The timing's just right, so I'm going to show you something good. Life in Japan is something else. Yeah, things are going on. Things are just wild in. Something good? Yeah, or rather, it's something I really want you to see, if you're up to it. Sure, I guess. My nose was still running, but my heart felt a lot lighter. I no longer felt threatened by the school. I was comfortable and safe. The two of us left the nurse's office, with Tsukasa in the lead, and even though I was holding a cold coffee in my hand, it still felt warm all over. I still felt warm all over. Neither of us said a thing as he led me through the empty halls. It occurred to me that when we last saw one another, I was mad at him. Look, Shishido, we're here. What? Isn't this just the walkway between the buildings? Just wait, you'll see it in a minute. See what? The sunrise. I had no idea what I was looking for. I just kept staring at him, but his eyes were fixed on the window leading out into the hallway. As I gazed upon him in profile, I felt my heart skip a beat. I have to apologize for what happened yesterday, but I just wasn't sure what to say. I let my feelings get the better of me and reprimanded him for the behavior that was, at least at the time, entirely reasonable. Another thing is that when she was running to the school, it was like downpouring rain, and he said that he found her at the school gate. So are we assuming that like some of the things did happen and then she just went outside and passed out in the rain? Like this plot, I'm seeing a couple of holes. There was more to it than that though. There was one particular reason, more than any other, that made it so hard for me to think of the words to say here. He and I had run from Yoshi together. We escaped her wrath against insurmountable odds. And what if it wasn't all just a dream? Bingo, here we go. Huh? I followed Tsukasa's pointing finger and... Oh my gosh, this is so cute! Whoa, that's beautiful. What an absolutely stunning sunrise. If it's actually the sunset, I enjoy watching most from here, but the sunrise is pretty great too. And how does he not remember anything? Well, that can be explained. That one's like the ghost can wipe your memory. It's like, that one's easy peasy, but like her arm is fine now. It's gorgeous. The whole town is painted orange. Looks like you're back in good spirits again. This is the place that you were talking about, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is. You've been keeping this spot from me all this time. So why now? Why are you showing it to me today? No reason, really. No reason, huh? I could think of a reason, but I didn't say anything. It just seemed kind of far-fetched to me. And if I were misinterpreting him, I'd be very embarrassed. He couldn't possibly, could he? My face felt kind of warm. I placed the sweaty cafe au lait can on my cheek and sighed softly. You feeling okay? Your face is really red. What? It is? You aren't still feeling faint, are you? No, nothing like that. It's just... Yeah, it's the sun. The way the light's playing off my skin, that's all. Oh, okay. Boys can be so dense sometimes. Good luck on the exam, by the way. If you head back now and get ready, you should be able to make it to it. Thank you. That's what I like about you, Tsukasa. Huh? Hehe. Also, I'm sorry. I like his pretty purple eyes. For what? Well, it's just that yesterday things might have seemed a little awkward between us after talking about that school legend, remember? Oh yeah, I think I remember something like that. Now put a ring on her. Well, he's obviously not there in 5 years, because this was 5 years ago, and she's not with him in 5 years, so something's gonna happen. I was thinking he was gonna die. What do you mean, something like that? I was really bothered by it, you know? You girls obsess over the littlest things sometimes. Me, I don't think anything of it. Really now? I let out another sigh and turned back toward the morning sun, stretching my arms skyward as a sudden wave of exhaustion overcame me. Damn, that's unfortunate. The day got brighter bit by bit, and I just stood there, silently trying to piece together all the jumbled thoughts rattling around in my head. I was running away from Yoshi, and Tsukasa was with me, and then I was saved by that old woman. It really was just a dream, huh? As the bright rays of the sun washed over me, I felt new life and new hope welling up from within, and I finally came to terms with those horrid events. Most likely, I got the pen case without incident, but then on my way back, something hit my head and knocked me out. That would just be my luck. Oh, hey, Shishido, don't move. Huh? Ugh. Sorry. I got the sneezies. Stay right there, just like that. I didn't know what he was planning to do, but he was staring right at me. It felt kind of like he was staring into my soul. And then, well, slowly, Tsukasa drew his face toward mine. Bless you, thanks. Is he? Shishido. No way, is he really going to? I shut my eyes. I was ready for this. Or maybe I just didn't want to look. But the next sensation I felt wasn't quite the one I was expecting. Shishido, what happened here? Huh? He grabbed my arm for some reason and was staring down at it intently. What the hell? What is he doing? Whoa, what is that? Seriously, I had no idea that was there. Turns out he was just concerned by the strange bruise I had apparently received, which had momentarily become visible when I raised my arms. It was right below my elbow, right where Yoshi had grabbed me in my dream. Looks like it hurts. It doesn't hurt at all, actually, but what? Never mind, it's nothing. Giving a wry smile, I gently pulled my arm from his grip. Hey, Tsukasa? Yeah? Before we go home, I have a favor to ask you. What is it? Would you mind if we held hands? Oh, how cute! So cute! Held hands? Scandalous. Yeah, just for a little. Or is that asking too much? When he asked why I wanted to do this, I fed him his own line. I just told him, no reason. We only joined fingertips, but for the first time, it really felt like I was connected to another person's heart. I remember feeling so happy. Look at it. So cute. Let the ship sail. It's so cute. Aw, now we're back to modern day Miss Yui and we're never gonna know. Hey, Miss Yui. Tsukasa. Miss Yui, please. Huh? I knew I'd heard that voice before, but who was it? Was I just dreaming again? I still felt like I was holding Tsukasa's hand, though. Miss Yui, your hand! Your hand! Huh? Huh? Good, you're awake. Huh? What? Mochida? For the moment, at least, yep. That's right, it's Satoshi Mochida. I was still dazed. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that one of my students, Satoshi Mochida, was here, and he looked concerned. Miss Yui, your hand is... What? Oh my! I finally realized what he was talking about. I was holding Mochida's hand in my own and squeezing it awfully tightly. Excuse me, please, I'm so sorry. It's no problem, though I have to say you have a really strong grip, Miss Yui. Do I now? Oh, she's got the bruise! She's got the bruise! Do I now? In the past, I was renowned far and wide for being weak and dainty young beauty, you know. How exactly do I respond to that? Well, you could say something nice. Mochida was a good student. He and I got along well, and we were already falling back into our usual pattern of good-natured ribbing. Except... Wait a minute, why are you here, Mochida? Well, I told you earlier, didn't I? I guess I shouldn't be surprised you don't remember anything. What am I supposed to remember exactly? A little while ago, you ate some porridge I made and took medicine before passing out again. I told you everything then. You did? Have you seriously forgotten all of that? Completely. Don't laugh, jeez. Mochida sighed and pointed at the table. Class notes from Mr. Yamazaki. Wait, did you come all this way just to deliver those? Yeah, and when I did, you were in a pretty bad way, so I made you some porridge. Oh, but don't worry, I had permission. Monet said I could borrow your kitchen. Yeah, your cat said that I could break and enter. Monet did he? I stroked Monet's neck and he lied down contentedly on my futon. Such a pretty kitty. I was getting kind of wrapped up in petting him, as I often did. I almost forgot Mochita was here, until he let out a huge sigh. Also, Miss Yui, leaving your front door unlocked is really dangerous. Oh, was it open? Yeah, and you're lucky I was the only one to discover that. You really need to be more careful. Duly noted, thanks. Did I say something funny? No, you just sound like my mother. Yikes, I don't think I like the implications there. I didn't mean to laugh. I must have seemed kind of deranged, but I could always blame it on the fever. Mochita looked at me and let out another sigh. My poor sense of humor must have been getting to him. Well, you sure do seem a lot better now than you were when I got here, so that's something. I feel better too. You slept like a rock, Miss Yui. That's right. I woke up this morning feeling dizzy and chilled. I called in sick, put out food for Monet. I can't remember a thing after that. Oh, you don't remember going to the convenience store? The convenience store? Yeah, I found cold packs and snacks. Let's see. Here, look, the time on the receipt. It was this morning. Wow, you're right. How can you possibly not remember going to the store? Amazing. That's just... Seriously, you need to pull yourself together. You don't go out in your pajamas or anything, did you? Well, I don't think I did. I wouldn't be surprised. Don't try and hide behind that laugh. Sorry. Were you taking care of me this whole time, Mochita? Uh-huh. Wow, I'm really sorry you had to stay this late. It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. I couldn't believe Mochita had been with me this whole time. I felt both guilty and grateful, and I definitely gained a new respect for him. There's still a little porridge left if you get hungry. Thanks. And I brought these too. Huh? You went to the supermarket. There wasn't anything in the fridge when I checked, so I figured I might as well. Huh. The bag was quite heavy. Inside of it was a bottle of orange juice, some bananas, canned peaches, apples, and other assorted fruits. That's vitamins. When you're as sick as you were, your body needs all the help it can get to fight back. Think of it like medicine. Mochita. That much fruit couldn't have come cheap, especially for a high schooler. I considered offering to pay him back, but decided against it. I knew he wouldn't take the money, and besides, I really appreciated the fact that he'd gone to all this trouble for me. I'd return the favor another time. She's gonna give him an A on a test that he failed. If it ever seemed like he was going to be staying late after school, maybe I'd buy him dinner. Ooh, scandalous. Or I could help him with preparations for the school festival. Well, it's getting late. I should go. Oh, will you be okay? Do you know your way back? If you'd like, I can take you at least part of the way. It's fine. Just go back to sleep, Miss Yui. You're not better just yet. And besides, it isn't safe for a woman to walk alone at night. Aw, you're such a sweetie. Seeing how much you care just makes my heart skip a beat. It sucks to know that she dies in the prequel. Yeah, she got swallowed up by the floor, but not before she was tortured by a shelf. Oh, does it now? I'm not sure you should be saying something like that to me, Yui. Huh? Why not? Mochita and I joked like this a lot. Usually it made him blush and get adorably embarrassed. But not today. Today he just grinned sheepishly, with a mischievous glint in his eyes. I didn't quite get it. What was his angle? He's horny now. You made him horny. Who's Tsukasa, Miss Yui? Is he your boyfriend? How do you... You kept calling his name in your sleep. Tsukasa, you cried, lost in some sort of wonderful dream. What? So, who is he? That crafty Mochita had turned the tables on me. And how embarrassing to know that I'd been calling Tsukasa's name. Well... I hesitated to answer for a moment, but then I figured, what the hell? Why not? Tsukasa was my first love. Aww. Judging by your actions earlier, you must have seriously been head over heels for him. What? Why? Well, when I got here, you thought I was Tsukasa. It was unbelievable. Wait, what are you saying? Miss Yui, your face is beet red. That's just my fever, I swear. Well, that's fine. I'll let you believe whatever you want to believe. Oh, come on. Whatever happened to respecting your elders? You shouldn't mess with adults. But you're in rare form today. We never get to see you like this. I wasn't sure he was ever going to give me the full story of the embarrassing things I'd done in my fevered days. And maybe it was better he didn't. Could you tell us what happened with him, for God's sake? Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, we're all dying to know how the love story pans out. Just fucking open up. Either way, I was in his debt, so he could tease me all he wanted. Just this once. Oh crap, I have to get going. Yuka's going to be really angry with me. Thanks for everything. It's dark out, so please be careful on your way home. No worries. And Miss Yui, be sure to eat right and get better ASAP, you hear me? Of course. I'll kick this in no time. Fight the good fight. Thanks. What a good kid, that Mochita. I'd better be careful, though. He is my student, after all. Come here, Monet. You sleep with Mommy tonight. I miss you, Tsukasa. When do we find out? Oh, that's just the end of the chapter. There was no actual murdering in this one. Episode 3 clear. Sulfur testimonies. Wow. And gosh dang. Achievement unlocked, fever dreams. How about never? Wait, so how many chapters are there? Okay, wait, so we've done 4. Yeah, there's 7. So we've done 3, what am I saying? So we've done 1, 2, and 3. Purgatory will be next. I was gonna say, that one was just, that was a lot of fan service. That whole chapter, besides like the brief ghost hunting part, was like a fucking dating sim. That's hilarious. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Cause my head hurts and we gotta go to the gym, so that's fun. But thanks for everyone for hanging out. And I do like the idea, Beater, of doing polls and asking chat, like, for decisions and stuff like that. We can try to incorporate that into more games. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, everybody's.